pledge by Councilman Balls and the prayer, by Councilman Balls, and the pledge will be led by Councilman Ostash.
Thank you. If you'd like to bow your head, please. In the name of God, the most gracious and most merciful. Lord, please guide us on this path, the path of those who do righteousness, not of those who do wrong. And Lord, please look over our city and everybody that works with our city. And Lord, please, please, please take these guns out of these children's hands and teach them how to be brothers and sisters so we all can live in peace. All this we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilmember Sylvia?
Present.
Councilmember Seals?
Present.
Councilmember Balls?
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia?
Present.
Councilmember Ostash?
Present.
Councilmember Braddock?
Present.
Councilmember Wiggins?
Present.
Councilmember Hammond?
Present.
And Mayor Moore.
Present.
You have all members present.
The purpose of the Committee of the Whole is for the City of Saginaw's tax cap overview update on the 5-year strategic plan goals and objective. Madam Clerk.
On to public input. Our first speaker is Salim Manan.
I'm sorry, let me say this. You okay? You okay? This is where you address the council. You will not get any answers. And for that, let's move. On you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
State your name.
Okay. Oh, there it is over there. Yeah, this is my first time coming. I haven't been here in a while. But I want to thank you for this opportunity and thank you guys for having this meeting for this important subject. It's, in my opinion, one of the most important subjects that we face as a city. And I want you to know, my name is Salim Manan, and I live in Saginaw. I've been here a long time. I'm at 1514 Milton Street here in Saginaw. And I'm here today because since they introduced this, I don't even want to call it what y'all call it. You know.
Tax cap.
Yeah, since they introduced it, I initially was against it. And I've been quietly working behind the scenes to try to change it. And I knew when they put it in place that it wasn't right. It didn't make sense. But because of the divide in this city, the East and the West, the black and the white, they were able to come in with this scheme and convince people that this is what you should do. Yeah, we have problems in the city, but you don't hurt the whole city because of the problem. And then they came and they told us that this is somewhere else. They're doing it in this place. We didn't find no place where nobody ever implemented where they put a tax cap on somebody. But that was just one of the campaign things that they wanted to do. And I knew that they were going to do it temporarily until they get it seated on this council, the people that they want in place. Then they're going to go out and ask the people to remove it. And they went back several times and they were not able to do that because they did not tell the taxpayers that we only put this in because we didn't like the administration that was in office. And we wanted to handcuff them. That's what they did to our city. So I saw that. It hurt us. Now I'm going to say this. I travel the world, and I've been to many places, and I come back, and I hear people arguing over, I'm on the east side, I'm on the west side, I'm black and I'm white. And I'm in the world, and I'm looking at people. We all won. Saginaw can't get to that. We have been taken advantage of because of this disunity that exists here. And now those people that supported it are starting to recognize it was not right because it has put a terrible harm on our community. A real bad harm. And we'll talk about it when we get into the zone. But this is a crime. And it needs to be removed in every hand on deck. Council members, I say this, and I'm not going to say much, but I say to you the #1 priority for the city is that that tax cap be removed so that we can take our place as the respected cities that exist. Midland don't have it. Freeland doesn't have it. Nowhere else does this exist where you tell a city to operate for 40 years on the income that you started with. How can that be? So it's a crime. So whatever we can do, whether we get the mayor, we get somebody in, or somebody to help us to change this, we need to do it, and we need to do it right away, and we can move forward with bringing this city together. That's where I am. And I just want to share that with you, and thank you for this opportunity to have a few words with you about this tax cap. And I don't mean to make any enemies.
Thank you, sir.
Our next speaker is Charles Allen. I don't see Charles, so that moves us to reports from the manager.
Reports from our city manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So first, we're going to have the tax cap presentation. So we have our Finance Director, Lori Brown, here to do that. And we also have a video that she made that we'll have on the city website. And the recordings of this meeting will be posted as well.
Let me say this before you start. We need to speak up louder, council persons, because they can't hear out there. So we've got to talk like we outside and project. The mics are here, but the mics are basically for the audio. They're for the YouTube, the channel. So if you would not mind, please talk up so that they can hear you, even our speakers. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
As City Manager Morales mentioned, I'm Lori Brown, and I serve as the city's finance director and also as the city assessor. There is proposed legislation to remove the dollar cap, so I wanted to run through the legislation, mechanics of the cap, and the impact of removing it, the dollar cap. There is a longer recorded presentation on the city's website, but I will run through it briefly. Our charter language is summarized on this slide, and it was put in place in 1979 by a vote of citizens. We are allowed to levy up to 7.5 mills or $3.8 million, whichever is less. State statute allows for a maximum operating millage of up to 20 mills. Charters generally have a maximized authorized millage written into them, but if the charter does not specify, then the default maximum is 10 mills. In the original 1935 city charter, the maximum millage was set at 15 mills. That later changed to 10, and then changed again in 1979 when the tax caps were voted in. Our charter language is unusual because it not only includes a millage cap, but also a dollar cap on tax revenues. The $3.8 million cap was the 1978 property tax revenue on the ad valorem roll. So the intent in 1979 was to cut the millage rate from 10 mills to 7.5 and also hold property tax revenues the same as 1978. There are limitations in place that prevent a local government from increasing taxes. The Headley Amendment of 1978 states that if a local unit's value increases beyond the rate of inflation, the millage rate must be reduced. This was triggered in 1997 when Saginaw's property values were increasing faster than the rate of inflation. And this triggered a permanent reduction to 7.3830 mills permanently. Okay, shifting to tax rates. This slide shows a breakdown of where your taxes go. The 25 combined millage rate for residential properties in the city is around 56 mills for all entities. In July and December, you receive a bill, you pay it at City Hall. The taxes levied on those bills are for a bunch of different entities such as the county, the library, transit, and school taxes. The city levies 2 millages that total 13.8 mills. 1 mill is for general operating, and the other is police and fire special assessment. So you can see about 24% of your bill stays at the city. Let's take a closer look at the city's millage rate and see how it's broken down. City operating is 6.3 mills this year, and the special assessment for police and fire is 7.5 mills levied on real property only. The total property tax revenue is about $7.5 million. We levied $3.8 million for city operating and $3.7 for police and fire special assessment. This slide shows the calculation of taxes with and without a dollar cap. So the normal calculation that all other cities do is they take the total taxable value by the authorized millage rate. The first calculation shows that our 2025 revenue would be without the dollar cap. The revenue would be about $4.45 million. The second calculation is what we do to back into a millage rate that keeps our revenue below the $3.8 million. We divide the maximum revenue of $3.8 million by the taxable value to determine what our millage rate will be to stay under the $3.8 million. This year's millage rate is 6.3365 mils, resulting in $3.8 million in revenue. So you can see there's a difference of about $632,000. As our city grows, our revenues stay flat because of the dollar cap. It does not matter if we have investments that increase our total value. If a major project brings housing, commercial office space, or spurs other development, it does not increase our property tax revenue. When a city grows in value, there is usually a need for additional services like police and fire. Other cities can support additional services because their revenues increase along with growth. Our property values increased in 2025, and we should have seen approximately $630,000 in new revenue, but the dollar cap has forced those revenues to stay flat. We just talked about property tax revenues remaining flat, and they've remained flat at $3.8 million since 1979. If the dollar cap was not in place, we would have collected approximately $29 million more over the last 46 years. This averages out to about $630,000 annually, which is in line with our projected loss for 2025. This slide shows our millage rate history for the past 10 years. Our millage rate, remember, is capped at 7.3830, and we've levied that for the past we've levied that for 7 out of the past 10 years. As property values started to rise in 2023, the millage rate was reduced a little each year to stay under the maximum revenue of $3.8 million. The point is that the rate has not fluctuated significantly, and historically we have levied the maximum millage. Since the millage rate has been pretty consistent, I wanted to show you the impact to a homeowner if we levied the full 7.3 in 2025 instead of 6.3. The first column is taxable values ranging from $10,000 to $80,000. The average taxable value in the city in 25 was around $22,000. So if we just look at the taxable value of a $20,000, the taxable value of $20,000, or maybe a true cash value of $40,000 home, that homeowner currently pays about $127 in city operating taxes. That homeowner would pay about $21 more per year if the maximum millage was levied. It's less than $2 a month, or $1.74 per month. You can use this chart to estimate what an increase in taxes would look like for you. So this brings us to why we're here tonight. The strategic planning goal for the tax cap is to support the bill in the legislature with the end result of the bill passing. The recommended action is to draft talking points on what lifting the tax cap will and will not do. So the proposed legislation is House Bill 4121 of 2025 and is sponsored by State Representative Amos O'Neill. The legislation would prohibit a local unit's authority to impose a revenue cap on property taxes. The legislation would only remove the $3.8 million cap and would leave in the millage rate cap of 7.5. That would stay in place. So here are some suggested talking points based on all of that information. So I often hear comments or negative social media posts about how the city spends money and whether they are responsible and transparent. I would remind everyone that council agendas, budgets, financial statements are all available online for public viewing. Any purchase over $2,000 must be approved by council per city charter. That's pretty restrictive. You can't purchase much for less than $2,000. OMB has received the GFOA Distinguished Budget Award for 17 years in a row, and the Finance Department has received GFOA's Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting for 15 years in a row. So what about inflation? Doesn't the $3.8 million increase with the rate of inflation? No, the $3.8 million is a hard dollar cap and does not increase at the rate of inflation. It was $3.8 million in 1979, and it's $3.8 million in 2025. What about growth and development? Doesn't the city get more money as it grows in value? No, the revenue does not grow as the city tax base grows. We reduce the millage rate, and everyone pays a few dollars less to stay under the total of $3.8 million. What about the maximum millage rate? If the dollar cap goes away, what millage rate will we pay? Again, we'll pay that maximum millage rate will stay at 7.3830. There is no proposed legislation to change the millage rate. What about Headley? Headley is a statewide law that limits property tax increases. Headley will remain in effect and keep the millage rate permanently reduced to 7.3830. What is the budget impact annually if the dollar cap goes away? An annual increase of $600,000 is only about 1.3% of the city's total general fund budget of around $45 million. The tax cap going away does not create a huge windfall for the city. This increase in annual revenue can be eaten up by increased costs to health care, wage increases, or increased costs for goods and service. So what can you promise that we will get in return for the dollar cap being lifted? This is an important one because, again, this is not a huge windfall for the city on an annual basis. We can't promise additional services that may not be financially feasible. As additional revenue is generated, it should be directed to council's objectives. What millage have I been paying and how much will it go up? Again, the maximum millage of 7.3 has been levied for 7 out of the past 10 years. The average homeowner of a $40,000 house would pay about $21 more in 2025 without the dollar cap. Finally, what is the long-term impact? How have city revenues been impacted? The loss averages around $630,000 a year, which again is not a huge amount, but looking long-term, the city has lost about $29 million since 1979 with the dollar cap in place. So $29 million is a pretty sizable loss overall. So that wraps up the talking points from my perspective, and I'd be happy to hear anything, additional thoughts from council.
Do we have any comments from city council members? Any questions? Yes.
Lori, thanks. Excellent presentation, and this is a passion of mine. At work, we've talked a lot about it. It's really important that the point that you're making, that even though the voters voted a 7.5 mil, Headley reduced us to 7.3. We're not going above that. That's where we're going to be if this passes. That would be up to a vote of the people to change your charter again. So if we feel the need, you could change your charter. I think that's a really good thing to take away from this. And when I talk to people, I said, you always got to look at your first line item. Your property taxes only fluctuate a couple dollars because of the adjustment. So now we've adjusted all the way down to 6.3 mils.
Yep.
And as property values, and with the medical diamond and the housing coming in, that's only going to increase again, and we're going to decrease the millage rate again.
Yes.
So we're going to, we're like flatline.
Yep.
And I just wanted to comment on that because that is, when I first started looking into this, that's what my aha moment was when I started to see this.
Good points.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Councilman
Thank
Barnes.
you. Are we planning on getting this out to the media, a full report on exactly what you just showed? Kim, somebody? Well, I'll put it this way, maybe the council may need to vote to make that happen or something, but we need to let the citizens know exactly what we seeing. You know, see there's not a lot of money involved, you know, so they can understand.
Yep, so there was a longer presentation about the mechanics that was posted to YouTube, and then we can add the talking points out there as well.
Okay, thank you.
So this will be, all of our presentations now, usually SGTV cuts those and posts them separately. So anybody can watch the presentations individually instead of watching the whole meeting. So that'll be posted, and then one of the goals of the presentation was to get to council the talking points so that you all have the same information that you can share with people, because I know a lot of you go out and talk about this, but one thing in the past, we've had a lot of different things out there about what you could do and couldn't do with the money, so we do want to emphasize it's not a windfall that we would get immediately anyway, but it's a long-term growth for the city. And Lori made some really good points of the one of no matter how much new investment you get in the city, you don't get new tax dollars from property taxes. So you could have a brand new GM battery plant open in the city and you get new income tax, but as we see, the employees are continually reduced at those production sites. So the personal property, they just adjust it. And then the comments about transparency with the use of funds. I think Saginaw probably has the most restrictive purchasing limit of any local unit out there. We're at $2,000, that was set in the 30s. So back then, I think you could buy vehicles for less than that and a lot of other things. Now, pretty much everything comes back to council.
Well, I'm just saying, it seems like we need to get that out to the media and let them know that. You know, we need to let them know the same thing you guys are saying. We need to get that out so they can see it. Everybody's not gonna look at the website. We need to get it out there. Okay.
Hold on. We also have some groups that are in the community, and I see some of the representatives are seated in here tonight. I hope that we can work together to get the right information out, because that's 99.9% of the problems that we have, misinformation. And so you actually heard it from the person who's been working on this ever since I've been on council, on how to change it, and there's been other council persons who have looked at it, but council tried to pass it 3 times and it failed each time. So now we're looking at going in a whole different direction, and nobody can point fingers at city council or yourselves. This will be a state law. Yes.
Another question that comes up in the community. So if we get rid of the tax cap, why can't we get rid of the income tax? You and I have had this conversation. So for the public that's listening, that income tax generates over $60 million for the city. And that pays for 43 public safety positions. So it's about 32% of our budget. So when you take the 16 million, and Lori just showed us, we're only gonna gain 600,000.
Right.
Greg Branch and I used to talk about this. It's gonna be a slow progression before we can ever make up that 16 million. Looking at the 7.5 public safety millage of 3.7 million, taking $600,000 a year, that again, I mean, we could eventually, because they're gonna want something. And that's what I hear in the community too, is if I give you this, what am I getting for myself? And that's gonna be a good talking point, I think, that we have to educate the public on. Eventually, tell us what you want, and then let your council members, like you said, try to allocate those funds. Senior citizens, when I was knocking doors, it's leaf collection. I can get them to the road councilman, I just can't pick them up because I have a bad back. We lost leaf collection. But that was $200,000 to go around the city one time to collect the leaves. So people don't understand the costs that are associated. So it's a big education piece that we have to do. So, thank you again for letting me talk about my passion.
Keep in mind with the income tax, we have a lot of workers that come in the city and work.
Yes.
Who are not residents, so they're not paying property taxes for the additional services. The income tax, I think, probably at least 50% or more is paid by non-city residents.
And before Councilman Ball says it, it's a state law. It's not a mandate by the city. It is a state law that you don't have to live where you work. You wanna fight that one? Let's take it to Lansing. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Councilwoman.
Thank you. So a couple things on the tax cap. First, I think that what spoke to me as somebody who's looked at municipal finances was the fact that we have to work backwards from a set dollar amount to determine our millage rate. I think that's been explained to me before in a couple ways I didn't understand, but visually, just looking at, that's insane. What that means is that we have a floating millage rate that changes every year.
So as our property taxes, or our property values rise, the millage rate is reduced.
And property taxes, as much as everyone, you know, and I'm going to get to one of the issues that I have with our current property tax system, but it's the closest thing to a progressive tax rate we have. The more property you have, the higher it's valued, you know, essentially the more you pay. It's a rate. Whereas the other kinds of fines and fees that we levy in this community are flat, and they're a regressive form of tax. So it is another way of looking at it. So the issue that I have with maintaining the tax cap obviously is reflected elsewhere, but to be honest, with our community and what I hear from people, it's not an issue of people not understanding what we're losing or where the money could potentially go, because our community has a very strong history of passing almost every single millage and bond that comes before it. If they see something on their ballot and it says school, we're voting for it. We're the city of Saginaw, we believe in education. If it says library, we're voting for it. If it says police and fire, we're voting for it because we believe in our community services, overwhelmingly. Overwhelmingly. So when you say, do you want to see your taxes go up, which is what people read, that's a tougher fight. And what that means is that as a community, and this is for all of us, we really have to understand where the trust issues are for our constituents. And one of the biggest issues that I have, trust issues that I have with the city, is with our processing system for our taxes. If I go in to pay my income taxes, I rent, so I don't pay property taxes, but I have received so many complaints about our processing system, particularly about the digital components, the fines and fees associated with the program. To pay 3% with no cap, no dollar cap on my income tax bill is really hard. Like software is making bank on that. And what I feel like is you know, I got a tax bill for $7.08 off of a $0 bill. I got a $7.08 fine because I had no idea that even as a W-2 employee, I was expected to pay quarterly. I didn't know that. I wasn't told. I had no idea. No one told me. I feel kind of stupid at this juncture, but at the same time, I feel like almost with our payment system, and I know everyone at this table has experienced this, or our family members, we've seen complaints about it. I think that's one thing we really need to take a look at in this community. I believe that Flint actually has part of their payment processing system now going through the state. I know that those contracts for payment processing are really hairy, and a lot of those companies that offer those services just charge a lot, and it's really hard to get away from that. But if there's a potential for a partnership with the state for that processing plan, I think that would be a really big boon to our community, because I don't want to feel like I'm being insulted when I try to pay my taxes. And I feel like our staff are getting the worst of it. So I feel like there's not much we can do as a council about the cap. We're relying on the state to try to pass a law. We're relying on the citizens to try to lead a citizen initiative. But when it comes to building trust in our community, that's one thing that I have experienced as an issue, and it's one thing that I hear just repeatedly, continuously, that people get bills and they don't understand why. They try to pay it, they told they can't. They have to pay for a copy of the paper. They got to pay a fee when they go to pay it, even for an ACH. It's a convoluted system, and it leaves taxpayers feeling like well, why would I make this system harder for myself? Why would I vote to do more of this thing? I think that's what they see when they see that piece of paper on the ballot, and I think that's why the citizens have voted it down.
Some of the stuff you said maybe not be accurate either.
Okay.
So
Go for
a lot of the fees you're talking about, and that's part of the point of having this meeting, is to make sure that we are providing accurate information. I believe I think you're talking about, and I don't want to get too far off of the topic, because we're trying to stick to two subjects, but the credit card processing fee, I think, is probably what you're talking about, which is the 3%, or late fees for not filing income tax. I think a lot of that stuff is statutory, and I'd have to look it up, but I think the state also charges you 3% when you pay your income taxes.
I was told there was also a 3% processing fee for an ACH transfer online.
Yes. Yeah, we can
Yeah.
definitely look into those things, but that might be a separate conversation. I know this state of Michigan income tax was working with the city of Detroit too, but typically they do that for, and I don't want to speak negatively about any other local unit, but it's units that have difficulty processing those on their own. The state, I don't think, is looking to do more work like that. Definitely, we can look at other processing, but we do go through an extensive process when we looked at online payment, which we didn't have for several years because we didn't want to have those fees, but it was something that people wanted, and we're happy to set up a meeting, but I think we have a huge majority of, probably or a good number of people who pay in person even, which is why
Right.
our city hall is so busy, so.
And you can pay like in person without any fees too,
I
or
did,
by mail.
I did that and my check was misplaced. That happened to me. But I would like to see an aggressive review of those processes from a user end experience, because I've heard too many complaints, and I've experienced it myself to look past it and say, it's not an issue, or there's nothing we can do. I think there are things we can do, and I think it is a recurring issue. But that's all I have to say on that matter.
We have a lot of charter information, and these meetings are important. When we talk about what we need to work on, there's a lot of things we need to work on because they're back in the olden days, and so we do need to take a look. Maybe we can formulate a committee that will look at stuff that is really affecting the community, and then let's build from there.
But part of this is communication as well, I think,
Right.
because when you look at the electronic, there's red flag laws about keeping data, so you don't want to process them yourselves, which could reduce those costs. And now we have, you as a unit of government or business or bank, you have repeated cyber attacks, so you don't want to keep that credit card information on site. That's another issue too, but definitely we could talk more about that.
So we can look at that. We can begin to look at some stuff. Any more questions?
Real quick comment. Just real quick comment. So Councilwoman made a really good observation that we passed school millages and all these other things. And I know when the school millage passed, my tax bill went up close to $100. We're just asking for $1.74 on a $40,000 house. So it's math. Thank you for that.
Any other questions? Thank you so much, ma'am. Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Lori.
You could have let Miss Yolanda keep it, and she could have flipped it for you.
Yolanda would keep me moving, so. So the second item we had on our agenda is the update on the goals, and I don't want to do Nancy's presentation again because we really don't have a lot of changes, and I want to focus on those items that we did get back from staff. So we're in the final steps, which is the goals selected based upon the priorities that we have. And just as a brief review, our process that we went through, We completed the session in January. We saw additional input through community surveys in February, completed the report in June, and our consultant Nancy Oley presented the final document to council on June 23rd. Council and the public had the final presentation on June 23rd, and we waited until July 28th to bring the mission statement, vision statement, and core values back to council for approval. During that time in between, we did not receive additional comments or input via personal appearances or other communication between those meetings. We did provide council the raw data from the surveys and also the summarized data. Our next steps identified in the final report included council and department heads reviewing the report and survey results for suggestions that were not found as themes in the report but individual outlier comments. City administration provides recommendations regarding prioritization or amending of the goals given further research or current status. And department heads meeting with their staff to determine action plans to meet the goals. If adjustments needed to be made, they will be submitted to the city manager. And these steps have now been completed, and we're here today to review some of the additional input or modifications that were recommended. And the general consensus, I think, from our departments and department heads were that the goals were well reasoned and well thought out, and they just had some minor changes or updates for council to consider. The priorities identified during our session for economic development have not changed, with top priority votes being on lifting the tax cap, supporting community assets, and affordable missing middle housing. And we didn't have any changes to those goals at all recommended by our staff. And with tonight's tax cap presentation, we did reach the goal for property tax cap, supporting the legislation, and the recommendation of having a session to talk about the talking points and develop additional education for the public. With that, as we mentioned during Lori's presentation, we want to make that available to the public. We'll keep the other video on. We'll post this video, and I'd ask council members to please look at that, review that some more, and if you have suggestions or you want summary for the talking points, please get back with me and we can work on that further. Any other issues you have with that too, reach out and we can set up time to meet. The key priorities for public safety and fire were recruitment and retention, engagement with the community, and lack of funds and resources. And we did have some notes from the departments regarding this, and I did talk to Nancy more about this when we were doing the final report, because I wanted to find out what some of the discussion was about recruiting efforts and gain more applications. So at this point right now, the Saginaw Police Department and Fire Department are fully staffed, which hasn't been the case for years. Has been for fire, but police usually does have openings, and going back, even when we had 90 police officers in the budget, we probably typically had around 70, because we weren't fully staffed that often. Now we're fully staffed in both, and we are sitting on a waiting list for our police department. So we have candidates ready to move forward in our process. And we did, at the planning session, we talked about increasing the city residents who were employees at the city or getting employees to move into the city, and we had set a goal of 10%. Upon review, we find that 19% of our employees are city residents, so we're pretty much double at our goal. So our revised action plan recommended city administration will develop a city resident incentive plan. And it's a good time to do that. Our collective bargaining agreements are expiring next year, so we'll be starting discussions. We currently do have an incentive plan, but I think we can try to enhance that and do some different things with that as well. So it's a good time to implement something like that. And then sponsor Saginaw Public School students through the High School Fire Academy during the next school year. We have had discussions about this before. We created this program through the fire department and ISD and Saginaw schools to increase city residents who are interested in firefighting. However, we haven't been very successful at getting Saginaw public school students to enter that fire academy. So we would really like to work with the City County School Liaison Committee to talk about how can we get students more involved and do some more outreach with that. And it may be an opportunity for us to do more of that with our fire department personnel who will be working in the schools. And then we had no changes to our goals for engagement with the community. And our no changes to the recommendations either that were in the final report. Arts, culture, and recreation. Most of the priority votes went to building upon what current assets that we already have. Hoyt Park, the Anderson Center here, Celebration Park, Japanese Tea House, the Downtown Lawn Chair Film Festival, Positive Results Downtown Lawn Chair Film Festival, and others. So we did have some changes here on some of the goals. Walkability was the first item noted. Improved pedestrian access on Washington Avenue corridor from the Dow to the zoo within 5 years. That's a great goal, and we had no changes to that. Within 1 year, improve Central Park District to increase use with an annual capital investment of $100,000. The public services staff reviewed that and didn't think $100,000 would make a significant impact on the Central Park district, so they did recommend increased investment to have a greater impact on parks, whether that's through collaboration with the state of Michigan and the county or through additional general fund allocations. I think there could be a combination there. And then planned recreational activities was one of the goals. And we did want to highlight our family play dates in the parks that we've talked about, and Cassie Zimmerman's been working on that. So we do want to provide 5 recreational events annually through the family play dates in the park program, and that is a limited cost, just $5,000 to $10,000. Another goal was partnerships with county parks and businesses and nonprofits. So a lot of what we were looking at with our strategic planning when we were reviewing it with the consultant was the communication point, and I know some council members have talked about that. How do we get the word out more? So this was noted by staff that we do currently work with Saginaw County Parks. Saginaw County Parks provides event programming to an average of 10,000 participants each year with 150 to 175 events. And they utilize several city parks each year. In 2024, they had events at Hoyt Park, Headwaters, Mid-Michigan Children's Museum, Court Street Theater, YMCA, Jerome Preschool, Otto Rozier, Bliss Park, and Fordney Park. And also, we did receive information from the county parks about city residents that attend county parks outside of the city. With Heithgo and Immerman Parks, they've had 70,000 patrons since Memorial Day, and about 40% are city residents. And then there was another goal to facilitate adoption of parks. And as you know, we do a lot of adopting of parks in the city. We have a pretty robust program, so we kind of think maybe the focus is on specific parks, and that may be the communication that we want. Are there parks specifically that we want to look at having adopt a park activities, that maybe to engage them more, whether they're neighborhood parks to work with the people in the neighborhood, or if they're parks in the central park system. And no change in the final recommendation there to connect neighborhood associations with organizations that plan arts, music, cultural, and recreational events. One of the comments from Public Services was to direct the investment in parks that was an earlier goal to some of the neighborhood parks to help with that engagement as well. Key priorities identified for neighborhood revitalization included quality, available housing, and affordable quality housing development. And two of the goals, initial goals dealt with the 2025 countywide study and participating in the countywide initiated housing study and creating those relationships. So since our planning session, Region G has changed leadership for regional housing work, and city staff are included in updates and sit on the Housing Ecosystem Committee. Continued regional partnerships are necessary to attract housing resources. However, this can be done through continued participation with our regional partners and attending any larger regional events around housing. A suggested goal from staff was to organize and make accessible housing resources available for City of Saginaw residents via the city website and available in person at City Hall by the end of 2025. Keep up-to-date housing data available for developers and residents, and include housing goals within the master plan. Recommendations remain the same. There's a note that the city will commence an update of the economic development strategy and housing study before the end of the year. Regional findings and suggestions from the Region G housing assessment will be included in that update. Key priorities for utilities and infrastructure included the need to build in the city with existing utilities infrastructure, new and expanded manufacturing. So we noted that we do need better communication and partnerships, but also need to address perception and reality. That was in the final report. The biggest news and probably the biggest manufacturing development has been Corning and HSC, over $1 billion project. Those locations were semi-predetermined because they're built upon the relationship with HSC that's currently there. And we also identified the need for additional capital needs not being met. We need additional funding for local roads. We do have the county mill of 2 mills for 6 years now, and then this also identified walkability and countywide collaboration. It's similar to parks and economic development. Goals for utilities and infrastructure. So one of the goals was to spend 5% available cash balance on expected capital purchases to be made within 3 years, be in compliance with the city's rate study. Department recommends more flexibility in that spending to be in line with grant opportunities, with a recommended goal to spend available cash balance on capital purchases as grants become available to ensure best utilization of reserves and comply with the city's rate study. Definitely need identify the need to spend down the cash balance, but how can we best leverage that as we do it if there's matching requirements on grants or other funds. Apply for a minimum of 5 grants and or 2 appropriations each year to leverage available funds for capital purchases. To help offset the cost of infrastructure improvements, the city currently applies for various infrastructure grants and earmarks annually, likely more than the stated goal. So that may be another point where we need to track and report on that better. And also we could attempt to increase those asks. Repair and replace 3 miles of local streets each year for 5 years. And the department recommended changing that to resurface or repair 2 miles of local roads per year for the next 5 years. And this is based upon the miles of road that are currently on this year's local street resurfacing project utilizing millage funds. This does not include any miles of reconstruction. Reconstruction is more expensive and would reduce the number. One comment we had there was to make sure we have the goals that align with the availability of funds. They also recommended completing an ADA sidewalk ramp project annually utilizing road funding. That's something that we used to do, but I think we've gotten away from that. They're recommending going through and reinstituting that program. And they also recommended conduct a comprehensive review and analysis of proposed rehabilitation and reconstruction projects to evaluate the feasibility of adding bike lanes and incorporate them into the project when appropriate. goals for building in the city, Development Department added package property information along with incentives to attract new development. The second goal was continuously work to prepare sites for development. So we do have work underway and have been doing this for a while as part of Redevelopment Ready for providing the information. We have that on our webpage available, development sites across the city. So we are working on that, have been. We do apply for grants to market those sites and increase their marketability. And I think maybe we focus on packaging those incentives so that developers are aware of what they could receive with those sites. And no change to that final recommendation for utilities and infrastructure. And then the next steps identified in our final report. Department heads rotate individually through council meetings for brief updates on goals and milestones attained. City manager and OMB director assign light items to goals and action plans for tracking to the budget. As goals are accomplished, communicate their accomplishment to the public beyond council meetings. And those, I think, are our OMB director, Yolanda Bland, already has a template set up for the second item. As we move through the year, I think it would be important to schedule department heads to rotate through and report to council regularly. Additional next step, at the end of each fiscal year, dedicate a portion of the council meeting to celebrate the successes where department heads report their accomplishments in relation to their goals in the presence of their colleagues. So that's something that we used to do that. We used to do a final report in our strategic planning session each year. So that might be a way to revamp our planning sessions each year when we're not going through this 5-year reanalysis, is to go through and see how our projects and budget have aligned with those goals. Once higher priority goals are met, council and the city manager and department heads will look at the list of identified goals from our planning session, address those with SMART goals and action plans as part of the ongoing process. I think that's the last slide that we have there. So not a lot of changes. So what are our next step? And I think city administration and our staff and our departments are going to continue with the next goals as outlined in our final report. And in this presentation, for council, with regard to goals, it's really up to what action do you want to take next. So I think in the original report, there was discussion of adopting the goals, but I almost think of the goals as keeping them a little more fluid so that they can change with the budget. If something happens mid-year, they're easier to adjust without coming back and having them improve. If you have a consensus that these are goals that are in line with your priorities, then we move forward and keep those in our departments, and an upcoming report can be the tracking mechanisms that the OMB have developed. You could pass them if you like. It's up to you as next steps.
Yes, Councilwoman.
Hi. So in regards to the strategic plan, I was really hoping to be able to have influence on some of the goals at some point in the drafting process, because I think that how these are going to be interpreted into KPIs for departments is really, really important, and that's kind of what I'm getting at. What I like to see is some more specificity. I did see some more specificity and some updating of some of the goals, particularly with housing. One thing that I want to point out, particularly to my fellow council members, is that while I believe it was, there was like 11 points given to, hey, we need more quality affordable housing, if you add up all of the points that housing got in general, it's 29 points across 2 different categories. So that was something that was repeatedly stated as a goal. And And I think that we really do need to develop a housing plan published for the city. We know that one is required in our upcoming master plan. Being incredibly intentional about developing that plan is something that I'm very interested in, and something that I do think our goals need to reflect and have some numerical opportunities tied to it. The Region G housing assessment has been published. It's been out there. I think the comment period's now closed on it. And it links to, I believe, in, I want to say in Saginaw County specifically, a need of over 8,000 units over the next 5 years. I'm pulling that out of my memory, but it's particularly for the city. They did do a summary report, and there are numerical identified needs in there, and it is broken down with rental units and with constructed units. So what I would like to see in our goals is outlining when we're going to have a plan published to address meeting those needs per category, what stakeholders we're going to engage with, when we're going to engage with them, and also what we are going to particularly, how we're going to measure ourselves as a community as to, for instance, our zoning code and our code of ordinances, and identify opportunities for changes where we're falling behind other communities who are doing better development, particularly of housing, particularly of quality affordable housing. So those are the goals that I would personally like to see addressed in this plan. I think that's pretty. I think that's kind of what the strategic plan is about, to get those kind of numerical goals in there.
Yep, I think that's part of the process of getting the measurables. So, and we did talk about creating, I would welcome council members to participate in some of those groups. So if there's a particular, I know you're interested in housing, so we know that, so we'll make a space for council members to participate with departments if you're interested in those areas. So make sure you communicate that to me if you have a special interest in infrastructure or parks or whatever it happens to be. And we'll get with each of you on when we do those goals and measurements.
This is the goals and measurements, isn't this strategic
Yes,
plan?
yes.
Okay.
You just said okay. I'm going to back up because some of the things you said you didn't have a lot of time to provide input. It's been 2 months and I didn't receive anything regarding these individuals. I received them from the departments, but not from anyone else. So there was an opportunity to comment, but I'm happy to provide that additional time for council members to provide input if you want to get into more specifics. The departments are looking at measurements and have been to align with the goals. So it's we're willing to work with council members additionally, but I don't think it's fair to say I haven't had an opportunity. There has been no communication. So
well, I guess then I guess that would just be a gross miscommunication, because when in talking back and forth about the strategic plan in open meetings, this is the discussion. So in terms of oh boy, I've got reams of information to be able to input on goals and strategies, and I'd be happy to send it to you. I'll write a 15-page report. I mean, this was my assumption was the opportunity to have that discussion, which
I would have liked to. I mean, maybe there was a communication issue. I thought I said if you could send me comments when you had the report, that would be appreciated. But
right.
Either way, either. We're happy to work with you all and create those.
Fantastic.
So, and I think that's part of why I think it would be beneficial to be able to change those throughout the year is because of items like that.
Mm-hmm. I also think that there was a reference to the economic development plan within some of the housing suggestions. The only economic development plan I can find is 2018, but I mean, I don't see what is the plan for the economic development plan, and we got the master plan. We're doing all the plans.
So we have quite a few different studies in the city, and that's really how we evaluate our need, and then that is how we can prioritize then when developers come forward for projects that are going to happen. So we do have a housing study, which it was a housing analysis that came out in 2018. We had an economic development strategy that came out in about 2020. we update those every so often. So currently, which was one of the things that Tim put up there, we are looking at updating our economic development strategy, but tying that into our housing analysis. Because everything with economic development, I mean, you guys see that with every project coming forward. If you need jobs, you need housing. If you're going to have a business, you need to have a housing buy. It's all interconnected. So that's what we're going to update so that we know exactly what the city is looking like in terms of our need and our demand.
Okay.
And then that will essentially give us those numbers that you're talking about. Yes, the Region G did do a study, which is over 8 counties. Came up with a lot of good recommendations. We're very involved with that organization. We're on committees, we're having a summit, we're doing a bunch of things like that, but we as the city also need to put forward our analysis and our plan. So that's what we're currently updating.
Do you have a timeline on that?
So the MML is actually fully funding it. We got a grant through them. Well, the MML got a grant through the state. And so we're sort of on their timeline, but it has to be done by the end of the fiscal year, so June 30th.
Of 2026?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Keep in mind, again, this is a work in progress. Nothing is etched in stone. It can change. It can update. It won't decrease. It'll update. So that if we want to be a part, council members, we can be a part. Any other questions? Yes.
One last thing that I will say is I do believe that we need to definitely double down on working with our partners. And if there is a miscommunication where we're not sure how this process is happening, I guess I wasn't sure how this process is happening, then I don't know how outside partners are, participating in the strategic planning process as well. And I think particularly when it comes to our highest identified needs, and yes, I'm gonna be a broken record, it's housing, I think that needs to be explicitly communicated that these plans are in the works, that the partners that we need at the table in order to accomplish these goals need to be there from the beginning. They need to be there from the planning process, and when we're planning the planning process, and when we're developing the goals around strategizing around the planning process, every step of the way. So with that, what I would like to see is, obviously, I'll send my recommendations, and I look forward to having some follow-up meetings on some of those goals in particular.
Any other questions? Comments? Madam Clerk?
Mayor, if you are all set, you can just adjourn the meeting. You don't need a motion.
Pardon me?
If you're all set, if ever no one has questions, you can just go ahead and adjourn the meeting. You don't need a motion, and then we'll come back into order for
Need
the
a
next.
motion to adjourn?
No motion.
Just adjourn it.
No motion?
You adjourn it.
Tonight will be led in prayer by Mayor Pro Tem Garcia, and our pledge will be led by Councilwoman Wiggins.
If you'd like to participate, may you bow your heads.
Louder.
If you want to participate, can you please bow your heads? We just want to say, dear Lord, please guide us. I'm looking down. Please, Lord, guide us during these meetings, our council meetings. Prayer for protection over our city of Saginaw, our first responders, and all those who are hurting and loved a lost one during this time. And may God continue to be with the city of Saginaw. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilmember Sylvia.
Present.
Councilmember Seals.
Present.
Councilmember Balls. Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
Present.
Councilmember Ostash.
Present.
Councilmember Braddock.
Present.
Councilmember Wiggins.
Present.
Councilmember Hammond.
Present.
And Mayor Moore.
President.
You have all members present.
Thank you. First, I would like to welcome everybody to the city council meeting tonight. This meeting is a live meeting that is on YouTube, And you can also go back and review it or watch it on our city webpage. Little housekeeping, phones, please silence them. I like the ringtones, because they got a lot of different ones. However, they sometimes disrupt conversation when it's in the process. During this session, I'm asking people not to boo, clap, do any obnoxious behavior. This is not a three-ring circus. This is a business meeting, and so that we can conduct the business that we need to handle for the city of Saginaw. You will hear me say to my fellow council persons, please speak up, because we can hear you up here, but you can't be heard in the audience. These mics are for the YouTube and for the live remote or video. They're not something that we can talk in when we're in City Hall and you can hear us. So I'm asking all council persons to project your voice to the back of the room. Madam Clerk, do we have any announcements?
Yes, Mayor, I have a few. City offices will be closed Monday, September 1st for the Labor Day holiday. Trash, recycling, and yard waste pickup will be delayed by one day next week due to Labor Day. And the Fall Team Up to Clean Up event will be Saturday, September 6th from 9 a.m. to noon. The event will begin and end in front of the Public Works Building, and lunch will be provided. Those interested in volunteering may sign up at saginaw-mi.com/cleanup. And that takes us to public hearings.
The purpose of the public hearing is for the public to address council as a whole and for council to hear the comments from the speakers regarding a specific action that is being requested. Speakers will limit their time to, speakers will limit their subject to the topic at hand. The very first speaker will be called up, and you come up and you have 10 minutes. Every presenter behind you has 3 minutes. You can say you are opposed or you are for the public hearing that we're about to hear. This is not a question and answer period. We will say, but we cannot give you an answer. Madam Clerk.
Our first public hearing is regarding the request for an industrial facilities tax exemption certificate from Menard Inc. at 1808 Veterans Memorial Parkway.
Do we have a representative who would like to speak to this subject matter? Come on up to the podium, state your name.
Good evening, Mayor Moore, Mayor Pro Tem Garcia, and members of the council. My name is Grace Smith. I'm an Economic Development Coordinator at Saginaw Future, the economic development organization serving the county, including the city of Saginaw. I'm here to speak in support of Menard's proposed expansion, a $21 million investment to construct a 38,000 square foot bagging facility. The company's first of its kind in Michigan. This new facility will package aggregates and Portland cement for Menard's retail stores across the state. The project will retain the current 76 jobs and create 5 new positions, while continuing Menard's strong record of growth and reinvestment in Saginaw. To support this expansion, Menard's is requesting an industrial facilities tax abatement under Public Act 198. The request is 12 years and applies only to the new construction, ensuring the city continues to receive the full benefits of Menard's existing tax base while encouraging new investment. The abatement will provide partial relief on the new property taxes generated by the project. Importantly, this support comes solely from the new tax revenues created by the expansion, not from existing taxpayers or the current budget. This is exactly what the abatement program was designed to do: give companies the confidence to reinvest, to grow, and to create jobs in the communities they call home. By approving this request, you're helping to ensure that Menard's continues to choose Saginaw for its long-term growth, bringing with it stable employment, new opportunities, and a stronger economy. On behalf of Saginaw Future and Menard's, who does have a representative here tonight, we thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak to this subject matter? Is there anyone else who would like to speak to this subject matter? Last and final time. Is there anyone else who would like to speak to this public hearing? I need a motion to close this hearing.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved in second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
Our second public hearing is regarding the request to amend the Brownfield Plan to include the Menard Bagging Plant expansion located at 2621 and 1621 North Washington Avenue, 1721 and 1831 Finley Street, and 1740, 1808, 1812, and 1840 Veterans Memorial Parkway.
Is there anyone here to speak to this subject matter? I'm sorry, you should have just stayed, sweetie.
Good evening again. My name is Grace again, Economic Development Coordinator at Saginaw Future. As we discussed during the tax abatement hearing, Menards is investing the $21 million in the new bagging facility. This project not only secures the jobs and investment, but it also addresses one of our community's biggest and greatest challenges, the environmental condition of long-standing industrial sites. This expansion includes the redevelopment of the 30-acre brownfield property with a long history of contamination. This includes polluted soil which would be removed, along with demolition, grading, and site preparation. According to local reporting, this represents one of the largest soil remediation efforts tied to private investment in Saginaw in the recent years. To make this environmental cleanup possible, Menards is requesting a tax increment financing under Act 381. This project is specifically designed to help offset extraordinary cleanup and redevelopment costs, expenses that would not exist at a greenfield location. This is exactly what the Brownfield Plan was created to achieve, turning contaminated, underutilized property into a site of pride and productivity. By approving this plan, you will help Menards clean up a long-standing environmental challenge while reinvesting in Saginaw, positioning our community in a place where business growth and environmental responsibility go hand in hand. On behalf of Saginaw Future, and again, Menards, we thank you for your consideration and support.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak to this public hearing? Is there anyone else?
I'd like to speak to
Step to the podium and state your name.
My name again is Salim Manan, and I didn't plan to speak, but I couldn't let this opportunity go by. I worked for General Motors and 42 years, and when they came to the city, they always got a tax abatement, and it was pretty generous. And I came to support it. I was vice president of the union, and I supported the tax abatement that they gave to the city, helped to preserve jobs. But I brought up at a meeting that the money, that the tax that we're going to be able to give them, the incentive, they should make a commitment to work with our young people in some way, whether they have a mentoring program, something to teach them about the technology that exists over there, and work with the community, work with the school system, and work with our young people to bring them in, because you're going to be doing some innovative stuff over there, and we want to get our community to be involved and to learn a little bit. So I support it, but I do want to encourage them to involve us in some way in that capacity. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak to this public hearing?
Can I speak? Back on the podium?
No.
Well, I sure got something to say.
At the end, when we do it. Last and final time, is there anyone else who'd like to speak to this public hearing? Hearing none, I need a motion to close this hearing.
So moved. Support.
It's been moved in support. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Madam Clerk.
Our third public hearing is regarding the request to amend the Brownfield Plan to include BNP Littleford Warehouse Project located at 622 Orton.
Do we have anyone who would like to speak to this public hearing? Grace, you might as well just stay on up there. Because you get some steps in. You can just stay up there.
Good evening again. I'm here tonight to speak in support of the Brownfield Plan for B&P Littleford, a long-standing Saginaw-based manufacturer that has been a part of our community for decades. The company continues to demonstrate a strong commitment to growing its operation and workforce here in the city of Saginaw. The proposed project is at 622 Ortman Street, and it involves the construction of a 12,000 square foot, single-story cold storage warehouse. This facility is critical to supporting their existing operations, improving productivity, and creating more efficient workflows. By building this space, B&P Littleford will be able to bring key warehousing functions back on site rather than leasing an off-site space that no longer meets their needs. Equally important, this project reactivates an underutilized property and strengthens the company's long-term footprint in Saginaw. The redevelopment also includes environmental activities that will result in a safer, healthier site for workers in the surrounding neighborhood. This reflects a continuation of the company's history of environmental stewardship. Several years ago, Saginaw Future worked alongside B&P Littleford and other partners on an EPA Superfund cleanup grant to address the contamination at a nearby industrial property. This new brownfield effort builds on that progress by addressing the environmental concerns while also driving economic growth. It is important to emphasize the value of the Brownfield program in making this investment possible. These tools help offset the extraordinary costs of environmental cleanup and site preparation, the costs that would otherwise make redevelopment financially unfeasible. By approving this brownfield plan, council can ensure that B&P Littleford continues to grow in Saginaw rather than being forced to look elsewhere. This is exactly what the brownfield program was designed to achieve, transforming underutilized, environmentally challenged land into a productive asset that supports jobs, investment, and community revitalization. With your approval, B&P Littleford can continue its long-lasting legacy in Saginaw while creating modern infrastructure that strengthens both the company and the city for years to come. On behalf of Saginaw Future, we thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Now, Ms. Grace, if you got to speak again, you might as well stay close. Okay? Stay close, sweetie. Is there anyone else who would like to speak to this public hearing? Is there anyone else who would like to speak to this public hearing? Last and final time, is there anyone else who would like to speak to this public hearing?
Point of order, Madam. I'd like to ask the attorney something. I cannot relinquish my seat to go ask a question about a public hearing, ma'am.
You can speak when the resolution is considered at the end of the meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Final time. Is there anyone who would like to speak to this public hearing? I need a motion to close this public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
Our final public hearing is regarding the request to terminate Brownfield Plan 20, Second National Building redevelopment project for the property located at 101 and 113 North Washington Avenue, 111 East Genesee Avenue, and 101 North Water Street.
So we don't have Grace this time. We don't have Grace.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, council members. I didn't prepare any comments. This one is pretty simple. We had been working with.
Who are you?
I'm Tom Miller, sorry. President
No,
of Saginaw
just
Future.
know.
I live in Old Town. Lori, Yolanda, and I and Grace have been working with on a lot of brownfields, as you can see. This one is an abolishment of the plan for the bank building on the corner of Genesee and Washington. Pretty simple. We were working proactively with a developer on a project. That project didn't happen, and so we're requesting to abolish the plan. Actually, the company didn't even end up purchasing the property, but a new owner has purchased the Huntington Bank building, and in anticipation of a new project, which we assume that the developer probably will seek a brownfield as well as perhaps an OPRA, but it was just easier to abolish this one and start over with a new one because the plans will be significantly different. And I will be here to answer questions on any of the brownfields, and we have a representative from Menards that can also answer questions later on during the resolutions. Thanks.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak to this public hearing? Is there anyone else who would like to speak to this public hearing? Last and final time. Is there anyone here who would like to speak to this public hearing? I need a motion to close this hearing.
Second.
It's been moved and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk,
Takes us to public input.
public hearing. The purpose of, excuse me, the speakers will be called to the podium by our clerk. You have 3 minutes to discuss what your topic is. Please stay focused on your topic and please complete them within the 3 minutes. You have a clock. If you get close to the 3 minutes, we'll give you time to wrap up. Madam Clerk.
Our first speaker is Louise Simpson. No Louise. On to Taylor Stinson.
You ready? Good evening,
You gotta talk
Mayor.
loud, sweetie.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and community members.
Good evening.
My name is Taylor Stinson.
And I'm Princess Hardy.
No, only one of you.
This is Princess Hardy. We are the founders of the Openness Incorporated. We are both mental health workers who are deeply inspired to help our community and to close a critical gap we see every day with homelessness. The Openness provides safe shelter, family-focused support, and programs that are aimed to help individuals and families in Saginaw achieve stability, health, and a better quality of life. Our vision is a community where everyone has access to safe housing, essential resources, and an opportunity to thrive. The Openness will serve as an engagement and respite center for individuals and families experiencing homelessness. We will provide emergency shelter, family-centered case management, and community support programs such as food access, health services, mental wellness support, and skills training. We know Saginaw already has several shelters working hard, but the need still outweighs the resources. There are wait lists for entry, individuals who are prohibited from returning, and many who are not yet ready to commit to the structure of a traditional shelter. That's where the Openness is different. We will provide daily overnight respite care, giving people a safe place to rest tonight without requiring them to return tomorrow if they choose not to. This flexible, compassionate approach helps meet people where they are while still connecting them to the resources when they're ready. We are proud to share that we have partnered with Gideon Christ Community Church, who share our same vision. They have agreed to provide us with space and serve as our fiscal sponsor. Gideon is already making a powerful impact in Saginaw, offering a warm, welcoming space to the homeless in the winter, providing ministry, and serving hot home-cooked meals once a month. Our mission at the Openness is to extend those acts of service daily, year-round, so families and individuals have consistent support and not just in moments of crisis. In the upcoming year, the Openness will expand shelter capacity, launch family-centered workshops, and build stronger partnerships with the city and other local organizations. Thank you again for your time and for your service to Saginaw. We left you with a one-page handout with more details, and we would love to follow up or invite you to tour our facility. Together, we can make homelessness rare, brief, and non-reoccurring in our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is John Milne.
Before we do that, did we get a copy of what they? I have it. Okay, I was getting ready to say. Okay, thank you.
Hi, I'm John Millen. I live at 508 West Remington. Good evening, Madam Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members, staff, and the audience. I'm here tonight to speak on the resolution titled Resolution Declaring a Vacancy on City Council. Many well-intentioned efforts have unintended consequences. In this case, it has created the impression that council is providing a first step to remove a member of council. The council has neither the power nor authority to do that. In the city charter, in section 77, is the only mention of removing a member of council. And that must be done by the voting public under state law as a recall. What the council does is fills vacancies. Vacancies occur without any action of the council. They are created by the situations described in section 92, of which the contemplation in this motion or resolution is one particular case. When I served on council, we had two different vacancies occur on council. No resolution was required. Council merely had to accept that the vacancy had occurred. It was either announced by the city clerk, and then the council provided the filling of the vacancy. Part of the problem here is this impression of removal has gotten out into the public press. People expect that some action is needed. Section 92 is self-executing. People resign, people die in office, or actually the case mentioned in section 77, they are removed from office by the public. That creates a vacancy. The closest it's come to needing a resolution is in one of the previous cases, there was a brief acknowledgement that a vacancy existed and then went on to be filled. So I'm going to suggest that we read further down and where it says, be it further resolved that the City Council for the City of Saginaw fill such vacancy in accordance with the Charter and the Council Rules of Order. I'm going to ask City Council members to ask themselves two questions. Number one, do you think if the events contemplated in this resolution occur, that the vacancy will occur whether you pass the resolution or not? Number two, that if such vacancy occurs, will the council and city staff fill that vacancy in accordance with the city charter and the council's rules of order? If you answer yes to either or both of those questions, you should immediately after the introduction of this resolution, table the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Betty Holmes.
Good evening, Mayor Moore and Mayor Pro Tem, City Council members, and our fellow residents of the City of Saginaw. My name is Betty Holmes. I am here to speak on behalf of what I observed during the hearing of Monique Sylvia. I can sit here and say all the good accolades about her because everybody, the citizens voted her in. But what I observed and I'm disturbed about, and so are other people, as I mentioned what I observed. I observed a camera that was posted in the courtroom saying that it shows Monique Sylvia was signing signatures. Well, this video was posted and I didn't see nothing. The cameraman couldn't zoom on, so there was no evidence that she signed anybody's signature, if that's what they was presenting. I also heard the city clerk say that if she sees or acknowledge that there are some invalid signatures on a petition, her duty is to throw them out, discard them, which she did when Mr. Eggerson turned his in. He was 6 signatures short. She threw those out. When he came back with the other 6 signatures that he accumulated, those were biased. It was a big commotion. So the media is making a big scene, and so that made our jury get excited and gave a guilty verdict. What else I saw? I saw that, I heard my city clerk say she normally throws those out, so why did she not throw those 3 signatures out and cancel all this chaos? So now we get to choose and pick when we want to prosecute people? Why couldn't that just be a teaching moment? Why didn't you just made it known that you didn't see her right? No signatures. Why didn't y'all just make it known that those signatures were her children's names that was misspelled? So every parent should know how to spell their own child's name. I also noted that, and let me hurry and get that, instead of you all going straight to the city prosecutor, y'all went all the way and skipped the ropes and went all the way to Attorney General. What was that all about? If you all are just out here just to drag people's name in the mud, you need to be a little bit more considerate because, like the mayor always say, and I had to have her say it again, it's a new season, it's a brand new day. You can throw a rock and hide your hand all you want to, but eventually somebody is going to see you do the dirt. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Charles Allen.
Good evening. Oh, that ain't on. Hello, everyone. My name is Charles Allen. Good evening to the mayor. Good evening to the mayor pro tem, city council, the city manager, the city attorney, the city clerk, the city recorder, and the city constituents. And some of y'all from the township, and you know it. But anyways, my name is Charles Allen. I came out today to invite you all, the council members, to our second semi-annual mental health awareness rally. I did prepare a speech. I don't usually do that, so I'm going to go ahead and read it. On Saturday, September 6th, from 12 to 4 p.m. at Saginaw Middle School, also known as Saginaw High before we did the transition of schools, the Trojan Center, we will host the Back to School Mental Health Awareness Rally in Concert, Identifying Triggers Part 2. This event is presented by Michigan United, the Remnant Org, Saginaw Public Schools, Solutions Behavioral Health, and Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated in Saginaw. Listen, together we're bringing resources, inspiration, and joy to our community at a time when it's needed most. We will feature a panel of distinguished speakers, including Dr. Pamela Pugh, Brian Pruitt, George Copeland, Dr. Twani Gray, Sigrid Mersha, and the Executive Director of Michigan United will be here, Ken Whitaker. These are voices of leadership, knowledge, and courage, and we are honored to present live performance, including the international recording artist, Cherie Williams, the Princess of the Rocking Gospel Blues, all right? She'll be here with her full band, and we will lift spirits through music, and we're also gonna have local talents come out as well. This is not just another rally. This is a real impact. Families will have access to free food and free haircuts, paint therapy, yoga therapy. There will be a kid zones with face painting and games, raffles and school supply giveaways, and most importantly, we're giving away 2 full-year scholarships for treatment for mental health patients who are uninsured. They can receive free treatment for a full year with 2 sessions a month plus their $200 intake. That was presented by Michigan United and Solutions Behavioral Health, and we are still collecting donations so you can be a part of this movement. I said 2 free scholarships for people to be treated, okay? Mayor and council members, it's more than just an awareness rally. It's about giving back to our community, providing a tangible tool and resources to heal and grow and thrive. I invite each of you not to only attend, but to stand with us. Your presence will send the message to the city of Saginaw. It's committed to mental health, dignity, and future for its people. Together, we can make sure no one in our city feels invisible, unsupported, or left behind. Thank you for your time. I also just wanted to share really quickly the reason why I got into this is because I was wrongfully diagnosed at 30 years old with bipolar disorder, finding out 5 years later that I actually am ADHD. And I say that because there's so many holes and so many gaps in mental health treatment. So this is an opportunity for all of you in this room to participate. My number is 989-751. Lisa Coney is one of the organizers, Commissioner Lisa Coney as well. Please come visit us September 6th from 12 to 4. Thank you so much. Anybody is welcome to come.
Thank you.
Oh, my daughter's first time being at council. Y'all say hello, she's sleeping. All right.
That was not said.
Our next speaker is Celine Manan.
First day's go sleep.
No, but I'm delighted to be here, and I'm here on good news. Again, I'm Salim Manan. I'm Salim Manan, a resident of Saginaw, Michigan, and I'm here with good news, really. I'd like to, first of all, thank the City Council and the administration. Decorum for the meetings have been beautiful. When I look at YouTube and other City Council meetings, it's a mess. So you got a lot to be proud of. I really mean that. In terms of operating of our city, when I go to get the service, I'm proud to go there. The people are nice to me. I think you've done a good job. I went to Benton Harbor, and I was recently in Flint, and these cities were taken over by emergency manager. I am proud that we are a miracle. Through all the tax cap that's been on us, we still have not been taken over by the state. As a man, that makes me proud that I live in a city that we can pay our own way, and we don't need someone to come in. And I thank you for that leadership. That's important to know about Saginaw. I'm here because I think we can capture something very important when we look at this rental ordinance overlay that was considered by the Planning Commission to go to zoning. And that would have put a trailer in my yard. I could put a trailer in my yard. I was there when they rolled it out at Saginaw United, and they had a picture, they had a trailer outside to show you what you can put in your yard. And I said, no, I was against it, and I brought it up. And one of the things that I've not been able to do is find out who had this idea. I asked and I talked to some of the planning committee people, and I want to say we have some dynamic minds on there, some of the best minds, but I want to know who is the person that introduced this idea to come to Saginaw and say, put a trailer in your yard when we got all these vacant lots and everywhere where we can do stuff. Why do that? Whose idea was it? I have not been able to find out whose idea this was. So I want to say to you, I listened to the zoning committee meeting, and I want to say whoever brought that lady in, I want to say her name, Christina McGuber, if I'm saying her name right. She did a wonderful job. She's shaking her head. She did a wonderful job at the planning committee explaining, because she went out and studied the areas that they purported to have put this in place. East Lansing was one, Port Huron was the other one. When she came back, she pointed, both of them are an abject failure, right? They're an abject failure. East Lansing has been there the longest. The people can't sell their homes. They got all kind of problems. Port Huron never really implemented it because they couldn't get the people to support it, and they never really implemented it. So that should have killed the idea that we can introduce this thing in our community when here it is, it failed. Now, remind me of the tax cap when they came and said, oh, we got a community out here doing this. But yeah, but show me where it's been done. I've not been able to see that. So it happened with this thing too, because I think when people introduce something, the important part, I can't tell you. Hey, but thank you for coming, and I'm proud of this city. I'm really proud of y'all, and I'm proud of the work that y'all do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our final speaker is Angie Miller.
Speak loud.
Good evening. My name's Angie Miller. I'm the president of the Mid-Michigan Area Labor Council, and I wanted to come here tonight to give a labor update. The beginning of August, 200 book bags were stuffed by labor and donated to local agencies. 2 weeks ago, labor partnered with the Food Bank of Eastern Michigan, as well as the United Way of Saginaw County, as UA 85 hosted a drive-through food distribution. 349 families were helped, many of them from the city of Saginaw. In September, labor, with the help from our labor liaison from the United Way of Saginaw County, will improve the mobility of 10 residents by constructing accessibility ramps on their homes. Apprentices with the Carpenters Union will do pre-builds, and then we will go out the day of the event. In about 5 hours, we'll have those 10 ramps on the homes. So we'll be changing lives of residents but also the individuals who do that work, their lives are forever changed as well. In October, we'll again be out constructing a ramp, but this time is when the women of labor do the work. And so it is a ramp completely constructed by the women of labor. Tomorrow, August 26th, the Mid-Michigan Area Labor Council, with the support of the unions from Saginaw and Bay counties, will host their 5th annual pre-Labor Day picnic at the Saginaw Art Museum from 5 to 7:30. There'll be a band, fresh kogels off the grill, along with games and prizes. And I'm pleased to announce that Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist will be in attendance. So come out tomorrow to the Saginaw Art Museum. Everyone's welcome, and it is a free event. Thank you.
Mayor, that takes us to remarks of council.
Council members, 3 minutes. We will begin tonight with Councilman Ostash.
Thanks, Mayor, and welcome everybody to the Anderson Center tonight. We've got a full house. That's good to see, and everybody watching from home. So for our public input, folks, thank you for everybody for coming out to speak. Taylor, and I believe you said your partner's name is Princess that you're open the center with. Yes. Thank you for doing that. I mean, you said that there is a lot of entities in the city, but there is still a need. And one thing that not only the services that you're going to provide, but the flexibility, that is what caught my eye. So thank you and good luck with your nonprofit. Charles Allen, thank you for coming out and sharing all that information. I will definitely put this on the calendar. I'll be in town that weekend, so we'll try to stop by. And you've got some really good stuff going on here too, especially with a lot of the free haircuts, free food. There's a lot of things that you're going to be doing besides providing mental health service and education. Salim, always good to see you, my friend. Sometimes we run into each other at Houghton Jones, but thank you for coming out and sharing your thoughts on that rental overlay. That particular overlay had to do with adaptive dwelling units. They didn't want those in the city, but our staff did a really good job on bringing back a lot of information on other overlays and how it had hurt other municipalities. So it actually just shifted the problem. It really didn't solve it. So thank you for your words on that. Also, too, a couple commissioners, elected officials in the audience tonight. Commissioner Coney from Saginaw County, and Commissioner Taney is here tonight, so welcome to our meeting. I need to get to one of yours pretty soon again, too, so thanks for coming. Couple announcements for the city. We have our Saginaw Soup is coming up again, so entrepreneurs, bring your pitch competitions. That's going to be September 11th. Get a hold of our city staff for more information on that. I believe Cassie Zimmerman heads that up in our Economic Development Department, so you can contact them. And also, the NABE down in the west side of the city, they're going to be starting their after-school programs again. They've got a lot of good things going on, performing arts, basketball camps, sports, STEM, and STEAM, outdoor games. So September 22nd, they'll be starting that back up again from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. So I will be stopping by there. Hopefully, Kanika, we will run into you. And then there was an event that went on in the city. My employer, Dow Credit Union, and also STARS put on a financial education event. I stopped by the STARS bus location. They were teaching people about their credit scores and how to balance and stuff. So thank you for both of those two entities for coming and putting that together and catching those bus riders in between their ride and their buses. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Next, we have Councilman Braddock.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mayor. I have a lot to say. I'd just like to give my condolences out to the families who lost their loved ones over the weekend. It seemed like a very rough weekend. Also, I'd just like to say, as far as the tax cap, yes, I think our community, more so, like I say, need to be educated. We need to push for that. I think we have to look at the generations after us. You know, I like to say our grandkids. You know, we got to look towards our grandkids. We look at things, people want instant gratification, but some things we have to, you know, wait on, okay? And also, just there's a lot of good in the city. You know, you know, it's a lot of goods happening in the city, and I see a lot of people out in the community working with our youth. You had the backpack drive, you had the, you know, the food giveaways, you have all these different things, but we still have the violence that comes in and interrupts all the good, and I hate to see that, you know, and so I hate to see the lost ones and the young folks that are losing their lives out there. So, you know, don't want to really focus on the negative because there's a lot of good going on for our city. There's a lot of positive things happening moving forward. And so, as we used to say, keep Saginaw moving forward, we'll continue to keep Saginaw moving forward. And also to comment on Mr. Salim's comment about the board, the city council. I watched different cities councils, and I can say I'm proud to be a part of this committee. Things ain't always going to be perfect, and, you know, things ain't always going to be the way it's, you know, the way everybody, we ain't gonna be able to please everyone, I should say. But I know that the people that up here is our intelligence, a lot of talent up here, and I think we make the best decisions, and we could try to make the best decisions possible. But we just got to continue to work, continue to do the positive that's going on around in our city, and the positives that are going around in our city need to be highlighted more. The resources that we have need to be pushed more, you know, and so just looking forward to that. And I'd just like to thank everyone that's out here listening that I collaborated with throughout the summer, that helped us out with the children. And I forgot to mention that we went out to Birch Park and grabbed the youth out there and took them to the beach and museums. And so there's a lot of people, you had other people coming out there like Denzel Smalls, Precious came out there with the basketball court. So you have, with the basketball rim, so you have people coming in the communities doing work. And so let's support those people with our youth, you know, and let's keep moving Saginaw forward. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Wiggins.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you to everyone who came tonight to be involved in public input. We appreciate your words. Thank you for the invitations. And thank you for the mental health awareness rally the second time around. That's I wasn't able to be a part of that before, so it's really good to have that back in the community. I wanted to say I got the opportunity to visit the Genesee Quarter, the Four Corners, with Terry Reed and Val, and just seeing what they give back to the community. It was a beautiful event. It was wonderful seeing all the faces, the backpacks that were given out. We need a lot of that in the community, and I appreciate what the Reeds do. Also want to say thank you to Mount Olive Institutional Missionary Baptist Church with Pastor Joshua Daniels. They had the Olive Fest 2025 this Saturday. They ministered to our community in a huge way, and it was beautiful to see. There were only over 1,300 meals that were given out within a 5-hour period. 10,000 diapers were given out. Hundreds of mothers and expectant mothers were ministered to. People were prayed for. There were 150 haircuts that were given. There's, school supplies, and just the community as a whole being together. It was a beautiful thing. And as long as we can keep doing that thing in this community, a lot of healing can happen. A lot of restoration can happen. And it takes the work of the community. And I thank those people that are doing it, and I will continue to be involved as much as I possibly can. Again, just thank you to everyone that came out. And I think that's all I got.
Have you noticed they talk loud, and all of a sudden they drift? And then you got to do one of these. If I can get y'all to speak up, please. Because I really want to hear what you're saying. I hear part of it, and then it gets cut off. I just told you to speak louder. Next we have Councilwoman Hammond.
Thank you. I want to thank everybody for coming to the meeting today, everybody, all of our speakers, all the people doing organizing in this community. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not an easy community to show up every day in, and today was tough. Today was a tough day to show up. It's been a tough week. And I just wanted to extend my heartfelt thanks to everybody who keeps showing up. 'Cause it's tough. And I just want to ask that please keep showing up. I'm staying. I'm going to keep showing up, and I encourage all of you to do that, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Please work to hold us accountable. Please work to share your suggestions, your stories, even if it's just you need somebody to rant to, somebody to hear your concerns. Because I believe that what this city is about holding on to each other when it's hard, because it's hard. And I don't have much else. Thank you.
Next we have.
I'm gonna need to change my seat. I can't see. I'm blind. Can I go up here, over here, somewhere? I can't see.
We ain't got nowhere else for you. We have nowhere else for you to go, so.
I'm gonna have to go.
I
I
know we
can't
all
see.
going-
Feel your pain.
We are
We
going
know.
through.
Okay, let me see.
So,
I'm gonna have
can you
to,
just
let me
push
see
back
what I
some?
can do. Oh, God.
On the edge.
Let's see what I can do.
Nobody ever told us that
pretty
this
bad.
building was gonna be perfect. It's beautiful. The sun is
Let me
killing,
see.
so.
Right there.
Let's see.
Right there.
Let's see how I'm gonna do this. Okay.
Next we have, Council, remember the mic doesn't all work, only for the video. You gotta
Oh, it don't
project your
work?
voice out.
Okay, let's see what I can
Next
do.
we have Councilwoman Sylvia.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to say thank you for coming to your city council meeting. First of all, I'd like to say thank you for everyone that spoke this evening. And I'd like to send my condolences to our babies that lost their lives this past weekend in a horrible accident, and other young people that lost their lives in the city of Saginaw. We have to come together. We have to do something. I just have to say a couple things. I hope I have enough time to do it. For the former council people that decided that they wanted to send a letter to this council about me, let me tell you something. First of all, you could have sent a letter to me. My address is the same, my phone number is the same. I figured, I'm not going to call you a coward or anything like that, but you could have sent a letter to me. I am very receptible. You could have sent that letter to me. Wouldn't have been a problem at all to send a letter to me and tell me how you felt, or, what your opinion of me was, or what you thought. Everything has not been out in the open yet, and I would have looked at that letter and thought about that letter. Because I figured like this, think about who signed that letter. Some of those people that signed that letter, and you talked about ethics and people being open and things that they do. Some of those people that signed that letter are also people that took monies from people and for their campaign that voted. I think those ethics weren't all that well. When you took money from people and you voted on them to get a building for $1,000 when somebody else put out $300,000, but you voted and you took that money. I'm not going to say it was illegal, but the ethics behind it didn't look so good. How about sending a letter to this council in regards to the violence in this city? How about sending a letter about the babies and stuff that are being killed in this city? Maybe that would have went a long way if you'd have did that first. Different things like that. In the middle of a pandemic, you came to me because I stood up with the citizens of this city against turning water off in the middle of a pandemic. How did that look? How did those ethics look? I don't think that looked so good. So when you write a letter, think about who you have signed in the bottom of that letter. Also, some of the people that signed that letter when Milton Hall got murdered in this city, some of the people that signed that letter didn't have anything to say in regards to that. Matter of fact, some of them chuckled and some of them said, we just need to sit down and relax in regards to that. think about who signed those letters. Thank you very much, and you all have a great rest of the day.
Thank you. Next we have Councilwoman Sears. I see it's in your face too.
Yes. Thank you, everyone.
Talk loud.
Yep, I'm gonna talk loud. Today was the first day of school, and I am very tired. Just like my young lady here on the first row, she is knocked out, and I've been watching her like that. I want that for myself right now. I thank you, Mr. Salim. It was good seeing you today. I remember my reason for being here. And when I met your group, some people out in the audience, when I met the tax cap group and I began to learn about it. And I remember wanting to run for city council and why I wanted to run, and learning about the different reasons why I wanted to run. And I was thinking about what I stood for. And I was reading a quote from Martin Luther King Jr. He said, "A genuine leader is not a searcher for consensus, but a molder of consensus." And so that's one thing that I hold on to. I want to bring people together, not search for people to come together, but I want to mold them to come together. And that's my goal in life, is to not just to bring them together, but place them together and be able to put the pieces together and figure out how we can all work together. And so I thought about what you said about the tax cap, and we worked real hard on you guys teaching me that, and I learned well from that group and what it meant for our city. And just with 24% of our taxes that we're getting from that we're paying, just 24% is just staying with us, and that's what we've been using, that's what we've been living off of in the city of Saginaw. And just what our employees, what they work with, and it's a miracle how we never had an emergency manager, just what they can do with the amount of money that they have. And I just call them geniuses every time I think about what they can manage. And so I think about even Menards, I was thinking about them, just what they bring into the table and the pride and community and the commitment that, they're going to help us grow, and the different entities that's coming to our city to help us in this time and disposition that we're in. So I think we're all on the right track, and as some of the council people say, we're on the right track. And as the mayor said, it's a new season, it's a new day, you guys. We just got to keep moving forward. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Next we have Councilman Ball.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't have a lot to say today, but my heart is feeling a lot of weight of the crimes that's happening in the city of Saginaw. Every summer we go through this. And it's so disheartening to see that the youth or young people get involved in this revenge actions that they're taking, and not realizing the person they may be taking revenge on may be a cousin, niece, or brother, or somebody else, or maybe somebody else just riding the car, or maybe an associate of a person that done something to you, whatever the reason. It's just terrible for this to keep happening to our city, a small amount of people making up this situation that makes Saginaw look the way it looks. We got to do something. I'm trying to do my part by being a mentor to the kids, been a Big Brother and Sisters program for 30-something years, and I see the impact that it has on the kids. None of my kids have gotten in any trouble. One of them mouthed off at the police, got a wedgie, and he's been a perfect example. Now he's 30-something years old, haven't brought any kids out of wedlock here. He's a truck driver driving all over the country, and he's a real good guy. And the other boys I had, none of them have any kids out of wedlock. So I know that mentoring helps. So we all can do our part by just helping out the kid whenever you get the opportunity to speak to them and engage them and see what they're up to, and have them do some things. I got kids come on my house 2 or 3 times a week. If they ain't looking for cookies or putting air in their tires, I'm putting everybody to work, they cutting grass or feeding my fish in a pond or something like that. I'm gonna engage them all the time and see how their grades are and stuff like that. But I want to give a shout out to the city of Saginaw. This weekend was unbelievable. I couldn't believe all the churches giving away stuff to the kids, feeding them, cutting their hair, Mount Olive, Bethel, giving them book bags. I was commissioned to go and buy some book bags and take them over to the place, and I didn't have any material to put in the book bags, but my wife asked me to get one book bag for one of the kids in the neighborhood, and that thing was, when I got it back, it was full of material for the kids to go back to school with today. And my heart it's just unbelievable, the love that we have in the city of Saginaw. You know, we got one guy, a lot of people like what he does. He let the city know about this 989, and a lot of stuff is negative. We need to, somebody, or either myself, need to create a 989 good things that happen in the city of Saginaw. That's the best way to warm people's heart when they can see all the good stuff that's happening. Good stuff, 989, 24 hours a day. Let's see how that'll change some of the perception of what people have of the city of Saginaw. So if we're gonna see if we can get the help group to do that and start posting this stuff up so people know what the goods is happening in the city of Saginaw. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Next we have Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
Good evening, concerned citizens of the community. Thank you guys for coming to this meeting. Very important information that we received earlier regarding the tax cap. I wasn't born while it was established, but I'm learning a lot, and I watched the YouTube. And as you get older, you're more of a visual learner, so I brought things into perspective. So if you got 11 minutes of your time, go on the YouTube and watch it because it really educates you. And anything that we do, I think most important, education is key for anything. I taught nutrition with the Latino community, and you cannot tell them older women how to cook. So it was a learning curve for me to be able to do that. But it starts at home, how to educate and learn those tools, do your research, it's very important. And that tax cap seems like we've lost a lot of money here in the city of Saginaw, but we have great investment coming, so let's use that opportunity to make a voice and stand up for what needs to be changed. Back then, it met the needs, but no longer GM's here, so let's take a stance and do the right thing, and let's keep Saginaw moving forward. There's going to be a lot of needs, just like today. I had the privilege to be with the Eastside Soup Kitchen. That's near and dear to my heart, thanks to Diane and her wonderful volunteers and staff. We actually stepped out of our comfort zone and we went to the township, and we were able to help a lot of people out there, and the need was great. I mean, people were talking about there's expensive cars. You can't discriminate. I've worked on the forefront of being a social worker. There are people that literally are falling in the cracks that are working just like everybody else, and they're not making it, unfortunately. Consumers is high, the gas prices are high, eggs are high. So, you know, don't judge people unless you've been in that, because nobody knows what's going on in their household. You know, I'm happy that I was able to be a part of it. It was a little chilly this morning. Of course, in Michigan, you never know what's going to happen. But if you're not in your community out there volunteering, you're not understanding what the citizens want. I had the honor last week to go down where Bill's company, Dow, worked with Stars, and they gave the bus riders free passes for the day. So it was awesome to sit down there and talk to a lot of those riders, and they were happy. They had giveaways. They gave them grocery carts if they won. Just educating them about financial responsibilities, how to budget and stuff. And some of those things, well, they're not taught in high school. I didn't know how to cook, you know, so there's things like that that we need to educate, and if we don't, this younger generation, we need to help them, because it seems like they're losing a lot of them components that you guys might have had that I didn't have in high school, but we need to be their mentors and show them the right way. I think that's what's happening in these homes. There's a lot of young parents that are not having those tools, and we really need to come together. I think that's where this violence is playing an act. They're lashing out, they don't know who to take it on, their anger, there's mental health, you know, there's just a lot going on, but we need to come together and not only pray about it, but we need to, you know, utilize these resources we have. Thank you.
I'm always the last one to speak, and so by the time it gets to me, it's all been said. My public speakers, young ladies, I plan to come and visit your site. Mr. Allen, Why are you doing this on cleanup week? I do plan to make an appearance after I get everything wrapped up in the morning. If you guys are not busy on the 6th, please come out and help us clean up the city. I said this during the Memorial Cup. We got company coming, clean up your house. Let's clean our house. I no longer am going to ever say that again. I'm just going to tell you like my mama used to tell me. Get in there and let's clean this house. Because it is important that we represent Saginaw. This last 2 weekends have been totally non-stop for me. There is not enough hours in the day. When I lay down, trust me, I sleep. Friday there was something, Saturday there was something, Sunday there was something. People cannot tell me that there's nothing to do in this city. I dare you. I dare anybody to say that to me. There was so much going on the weekend with giving. When is the last time that you gave something? And you gave it from the heart. You didn't give it with no other ulterior motive. You didn't do it to buy out, pay out anybody. When's the last time you did it? I can tell you I did it right before I came here. If you got to talk about what you give, then don't give it. Because see, once you give it, it's no longer yours.
That's it.
I'm a firm believer that if we are going to survive in this city, and I know all about the crimes, and I've heard all of the comments about the council ain't saying nothing, the mayor ain't saying nothing.
Right.
What do you want me to say?
Right.
Other than I'm sorry. That don't bring them back. What I keep saying to the audience is this. I need you. I need us to step it up. All weekend long, my phone been ringing. I hear the council talk about phones. I wish I could throw mine upside the wall. I've got a son who's incarcerated for guns. I'm not upholding it at all. You do the time, and I hate to see it, because he's mine. I love him. Not gonna not stop loving him, but we need to stop it. Let's take our city back. Thank you very much. Madam Clerk.
This is to reports from the manager.
Mr. Manager, again.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. You probably heard enough from me already. Just had a few items for you, to a few updates and announcements. We already talked about the Team Up to Clean Up. Individuals can go and sign up on the city website for that. If you don't sign up, show up anyway.
That's right.
You'll be welcome.
Ain't turning nobody away.
That's right, we're not turning anybody away.
Nobody.
We'll have plenty of supplies. And the Saginaw Economic Development Corporation is hosting the 2025 Small Business
Can we take
Section.
a minute for a minute, because you know you cleared this room out. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
No problem. SEDC is hosting the 2025 Small Business Expo this Thursday, 4 to 8 p.m., SVRC Outdoor Marketplace. Theme for 2025 is Shop Small, Dream Big, and is an opportunity for local business owners to showcase their unique products and services and connect with other local business owners from the Saginaw community. Expo will have live music from Black Rose and Kids Zone and face painting and games. 2025 Small Business allows aspiring entrepreneurs to learn more about the SEDC and the assistance that is available when starting a small business in Saginaw. The next item was, I just put it on here, but I like what council members are saying about financial management as it relates to the tax cap and just general management overall. We started our audit, so I had my initial meeting with the auditor. The fiscal services is working with them. It's a little bit more difficult this year with the construction at City Hall, but I'll tell you, all of the departments work hard with the limited resources that we have. We had, even 15 years ago, we had over 100 police officers. We went down in the 50s. We had Chief is gonna correct me, I can't remember how many firefighters we had, but we have 38 now. I know we had over 70, probably 15 years ago. We had multiple parks employees, over 100 Parks and Recs employees. We have basically 0 now, other than the part-time over here. But the staff keeps going and does what they can do with the resources that we have. I know in 2013, our fund balance was about $245,000. We have over $13 million in fund balance now. The work we're doing on City Hall, we didn't borrow for that. We used ARPA, but we're putting over $4 million of it from our capital reserve fund, which we never had. So the staff does such a great job, and I'm glad to see several of you recognize them. And what Councilman Braddock mentioned about planning for the future and your grandkids, that's a lot of what we do here. The tax cap, if you remove the tax cap, it'll have an impact years down the line. But you take action now to have that impact later. Early 2000s, the city did move away from the pension fund. If you look at the audit, that's a huge cost. We have a hybrid plan now. We went to a DC retiree healthcare. We moved into retiree savings plan. Those two costs are probably over a third of our general fund budget, but making that change when the council administration did it in those years, that's going to have an impact 20, 25 years from now. So a lot of that planning is long-term. So I really like to hear that. I appreciate that so much. And finally, a bit of good news that we've been waiting for. HUD has officially approved and sent notice to the Saginaw Housing Commission that the purchase of 2701 East Genesee to be developed into a park has been approved. So Saginaw Housing Commission will send the letter from HUD and sign purchase agreement tomorrow. As outlined by HUD, the city does have to purchase the property at market value, which has been determined to be $20,000. So with that investment, we can move forward on continuing to create that park, preserve the gate, and create that space. So that's great news, and I really want to thank Cassie Zimmerman again. She's been working on this for a long time, and she's had a lot of patience and a lot of perseverance. So that's great news. So that concludes the management update.
Any questions for the city manager? Hands went up real fast. Councilman Balls.
Well, thank you very much, man. Are you talking about the whole fairground or just a couple of acres?
It's a couple acres around the
design.
Yeah, HUD allowed that split, and then believe me, we were trying to get it for no cost, but part of their rules is market value, and actually the work that the city funded at the fairgrounds with the ARPA dollars significantly increased the value of that property. I think it was much lower before, but we're happy to pay that to create the park.
So visually speaking, if you look at that park, percentage-wise, how much is that going to be for the sign, and how much is going to be left?
Did Cassie leave?
Cassie's
talking
outside.
Oh, okay, she's talking outside.
I think Mr. Carwell got an answer for me.
Yeah, no, the portion we purchased, I think, is over about 1.5 acres out of about 45 or 50 acres.
Oh, it's 45, 50 acres?
For the whole property.
So what they gonna do with the rest of it? You have anything?
It's in the Housing Commission's hands.
Okay.
You know where the area is?
Yeah.
Right there at the gate.
Yeah.
Which would make Genesee look pretty.
Yes.
No questions on this end? Councilwoman Sylvia.
My exact question.
Okay.
Exact question.
Yes,
I just have a comment. I just want to say that the staff at City of Saginaw is amazing. If you look at their audits for 15 and 17 years going strong, I mean, they deserve a round of applause. I've been in audits and they are never that smooth, depending on who you're working with, but kudos and great job to you guys for doing that. That's a long time, 15 and 17 years. That's almost like half of my lifetime, but good job, you know. Yeah, I'm not that old. Right? Hey. But yeah, so I just want to say I appreciate you guys. I know, like I said, there's staff that I can reach out to if I have a problem with a citizen, and they're right on it. And I can't thank you guys enough for, you know, looking out for me when I sometimes still don't know who to go to or what department, and I can hit you up on your personal cell, and you guys make sure that, you know, those citizens are taken care of and explain why things weren't, you know, taking place, and that helps me know my job a little bit better. So I really do appreciate you guys for all your hard work and answering my questions and making my job a lot easier to understand my role as a council member. So thank you, and that's all.
Any other questions? Yes.
Sheridan Park neighborhood, Trina, on the side where the house is at. Is that the city? On Trina and Sheridan?
Yeah, that's kind of like, that's the single portion you're talking about. I think that's shared between us and Bridgeport on the Trainer side. So I'd have to look at the city map or whatever.
Okay, well, Sheridan Park at that neighborhood, you know what that's at?
Sheridan Park is the city. Yeah.
Okay, well, all that land right behind there, like on that fence, is terrible. I drive that way going home, and when my wife in the car, she wants to know who's responsible for getting that cleaned up. She said, you on the city council, you need to make sure they pick this paper up, I done heard it so much that I'm bringing it to y'all now. Or either I'm gonna have to get out there and pick it up this Saturday my damn self, but I would hope that we can get somebody to clean that neighborhood up. It's terrible going down there, so.
We'll get with you, Councilman, after the meeting and get on the map so Phil staff can go look at that.
You're not just gonna give me a garbage bag, are you? I appreciate that.
Saturday.
Any questions, any other questions? Yes, Councilwoman Higgins.
City Manager, I just had a question. I had actually a couple of, I guess, like people that own homes and they rent them out, or they rebuild them and then rent them out. I was told that there is a vacant tax. Why is that if they're building or remodeling?
There's a vacant property ordinance where you get a certificate. Council passed that at one point, I think, when there were a lot of foreclosures.
Okay.
And there were a lot of vacant properties that banks owned and weren't caring for. Definitely, we can take a look at that again if it's something council wants to re-examine.
I would like that, if it's being worked on, and, you know, to encourage that.
I can see that, where you might have some exemptions, or if you're getting in the permit process or something versus if you're not pulling permits.
Right, and actually doing the work, yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions? I'd like to thank the city manager, because I could come to him and I could call him at any time with my crazy ideas, and he'll just say, let's work on it. I too have been around and watched different council members. The one thing I learned about our city manager is he's approachable and he's workable compared to some of the other managers that I've seen in other cities. And so your whole staff is to be commended for the work that they do. And we don't tell you guys enough, city workers, we appreciate you. So we plan to do that in a forum real soon for you, to let you know how your council people, your council personnel really feels about you. So hopefully in the near future, we won't talk about it, we'll be about it. We're just trying to confirm the date. And all city council, if you can, I need you to be there, because we're gonna do a salute to our staff. I know, I took the thunder away. I took it away, I'm sorry. Any other questions? Madam Clerk, thank you so much, Mr. Manager.
Takes us to the consent agenda.
Okay. The agenda has been available at City Hall and on the city webpage. I I need a motion to approve the consent agenda, leaving room for exceptions.
So moved. Second.
Do we have any exceptions? Oh, my God. Call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk,
On to board, commission, and committee reports.
do we have anyone who had a meeting with any program that affects Saginaw or any organization? Do we have anyone to speak?
I just have a,
Yes.
for the East Side Soup Kitchen, we are gonna be breaking ground next month for the Hunger Solution expansion, and unfortunately, we will be at conference, wish I could be there, so hopefully somebody goes live so we can see that, because we did give ARPA dollars, but we unfortunately won't be here to witness that, so stay tuned, great things are coming that way downtown. Thank you.
What day is the signature? What day is it?
September 18th.
We at conference. Okay.
That's all.
Anyone else? Okay. Madam Clerk.
On to resolutions. Our first is establishing an industrial facilities tax exemption certificate for Menard Incorporated at 1808 Veterans Memorial Parkway.
I need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
It's been moved to support discussion. Councilman Balls, you have some questions.
No, I wish he was here, but.
He is here.
Oh,
He
well, I
right
didn't see
here.
him, okay.
Both of them here.
Oh, well,
To see you.
I just hope that we can hire some people in the city of Saginaw. and
Come on
maybe-
in. Come on in. Don't stand. I want to make sure you on camera. So we don't have to be
Hey.
trying to figure out who the voice was.
I really appreciate you guys coming to our city and investing money and jobs in our city. But the best way to help our city out with eliminating crime is a lot to do with poverty. A lot of people that don't have jobs end up in trouble. So hopefully you guys can help out with that. You know, I don't want to beat up on the city. I hope you guys have more than 19% for participation of people working in the city that works there. But we need your help with hiring people in the city of Saginaw.
Nick Brennan with Menards. Definitely appreciate that. You know, we are very much looking forward to this project, getting people hired here from the city of Saginaw. We are a company that promotes within. So even if you start, say, on the line, hopefully that means management opportunities, technician jobs in the future for, you know, especially the young kids to grow up. And if I'm not mistaken, I do believe our site manager is a Saginaw resident, has grown up here, lived here, been here for a very long time. So really look forward to this. Yes.
Do you have any programs for like high school students, like any entrepreneurship or any type of apprentice programs for any students, like internship programs?
There are some programs that we run throughout some of our plants. I'm not 100% certain on what the plant here in Saginaw does. We have partnered with local colleges as well. I know we've done that in some other states. And again, I'm not 100% certain what this particular plant does here in Saginaw. Again, it's kind of the site management kind of takes that responsibility. So, if there's an opportunity, we'll be happy to look at it. Absolutely,
Yeah, thank
absolutely.
you. I would love for you to look into that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add, Councilman Balls, about 6 months ago, part of our strategic planning process that did include the mayor and the manager, one of the things that I wanted to do when taking over at Saginaw Future after being there for 22 years was we had a program called Community Ventures about 6 years ago where the state asked us to partner with local churches, the NAACP, to find chronically unemployed individuals, and then it was our job to meet with Covenant, Morley Brothers, and Next Year, set aside their prohibition for hiring nonviolent ex-offenders. Saginaw County hired 2,000 chronically unemployed individuals through that program, more than Oakland, Wayne, and Macomb County. That program was cut by the current governor because it wasn't very popular around the rest of the state, but we formed a little committee. We've only had 2 meetings, but we're at about 4% unemployment in the county, which is pretty much full employment. And the Corning Project has hired 1,300 people. we formed a committee of Black Pastors, Saginaw Community Foundation, and Saginaw Future to try and, we don't have a plan yet, but to form a connection between, I think one issue is that folks that are chronically unemployed that haven't worked in a long time are disenfranchised by the system in general, and they stop looking for jobs. So I think it's part of my mission, part of our mission at Saginaw Future is to re-engage those populations and try to work with the employers to form a connection and a system to help those people, because there are jobs available. I just think some of the folks all over the county, but specifically in the city, have stopped looking. And so we're working on it. Be happy to sit down and talk with you about it. Like I said, we had about 6 pastors, and they brought in a dozen. Most of them were offenders. One challenge we're having currently is we do have violent offenders. Talked to a guy that had committed a murder, but it was 30 years ago. So we're trying to work with our local employers to find out what their rules are regarding marijuana, nonviolent offenders, violent offenders, and so it's a work in progress, but it's something we're working on.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Okay, any other questions?
I can make a motion to approve this.
Thank you. I need a second.
Second. Okay.
We good. Okay, I thought we were. We good. Okay. We do need a motion to approve this, though.
Second.
And we got a motion second. Let's call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
Our second resolution is amending the brownfield plan to include Menard bagging plant expansion located at 2621 and 1621 North Washington Avenue, 1721 and 1831 Finley Street, and 1740, 1808, 1812, and 1840 Veterans Memorial Parkway.
I need a motion to approve, to adopt, I'm sorry.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved in second. Councilman Bowles, you got any questions about that?
Thank you very much.
Yes. Councilwoman Hammond.
Thank you. So, unfortunately, I do have an issue to bring up about this resolution and 2 of our subsequent resolutions on our agenda today, because these both were moved through the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority. Recommendations were made by the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority at a meeting. Unfortunately, the minutes for that meeting I could not find published on our website. There was a July 8th meeting that was referenced, and there was a July 29th meeting that was referenced. The July 8th meeting was not, the notice was not published on our website for that meeting that I could find. The July 29th meeting was published, and I did have a conversation. I did bring this to the attention of some of our city staff, to which I received a response to that just after our special meeting started. However, it is subject to attorney-client privilege, so if we want to get into it, I would just ask that someone else ask a question about it. But my concern is that the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority doesn't have any minutes posted on our website for the past, since mid-2023. And they've definitely met, and they've definitely approved minutes. So there are quite a few minutes missing from our city website, and I think that we need to be holding ourselves to a certain standard when it comes to public transparency for our public hearings, making sure that these things are available for the public to view, especially when, if we put certain meetings on our calendar and that's the standard, we need all the meetings to go on the calendar so people know that's a reliable source of information. If we're publishing all of our agendas and all of our minutes in one place, we need to make sure that we're adhering to that standard so that citizens know that's the place where they can go to view the meetings. I try to stay abreast of quite a few of our committees. It's tough. I did sign up for the listserv, but right now I'm not in approval of this resolution. I would support postponing it until we can make sure that we can get all those minutes published online for the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority for the public to review. So.
Yes, Councilwoman.
Make a motion to table Resolution.
You gotta talk loud.
Can we make a motion to table, resolution number 2?
Councilman, can I suggest that you make a motion to postpone?
Yeah, we'll make a motion to postpone.
I'll second.
Did we get a second?
Second.
We got a new motion on the floor, right?
I didn't even get a chance to confer with the attorney yet, and y'all making motions.
You made a motion so we could go into discussion,
That means discussion.
right? We now discussing. Any questions? Now, Councilwoman Seals,
Okay, can you?
you gotta talk loud.
Yeah, can you explain to me exactly what is transpiring? Because she obviously has said that there are no minutes posted for the Browns meeting, and I'm not understanding what she's talking about.
Sure. I think the initial concern was whether or not the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority had been in compliance with the Open Meetings Act when they noticed the June 8th and July 29th meetings. They were. Those notices were posted on the public notice board in the city clerk's office. Public notices are not required to be posted online under the Open Meetings Act. They can be. They often are, but they are not required to be. Likewise, the same with the minutes. The minutes are required to be available to public inspection. The June 8th meeting minutes have been available in the clerk's office for public inspection. Had Councilwoman Hammond asked for a copy of those, they could have been provided. The July 29th meeting minutes have not been approved yet by the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority because they haven't had a meeting since July 29th, so they haven't gone back onto an agenda for approval yet.
So, yeah, because don't they meet quarterly?
More on an as-needed basis,
That's
really,
what I thought.
because
They don't
it's-
meet monthly, they don't meet
we can go
bi-monthly.
months without any
That's what I thought.
applications for Brownfield.
Because they're on the county circuit. So I'm trying to figure out what does that have to do with the city, because we meet on a bi-monthly basis. So did you check to see how often we meet?
Absolutely. So basically, I think it's Madam Chair, it's a question, and I think there's potentially an issue with OMA. I have to look further into it because OMA practice says basically you're supposed to publish meeting minutes the way that your city determines you publish meeting notices. So I'm not sure if that is in our we have a public participation standards document that we have. I didn't have a chance to review that in time for this meeting, but we do have the standard of posting meeting minutes to our website. We also have a standard of posting notices on our website. So that's what I take issue with, is the fact that we in certain circumstances, if we're not holding to that standard all the time, it's not a standard.
But you're talking about
The Brownfield Redevelopment Authority meeting, yes. If you look online right now, there are no meeting minutes posted since 2023. And they have met at least at least 3 times in between 2023 and July 29th. So the fact that there are no meeting minutes available between that time online, despite it being available for City Council, it's not available for the Human Planning Commission, but it is available for the Historic District Commission. Kind of sometimes. It's been inconsistent, but for this particular case, the problem that I have is that we haven't been consistently notifying our citizens in the same way, the way that we tell people they can find information. If they come to us and ask, we say, here it is online. Well, we haven't been doing that with this particular authority, and because the resolutions, the 3 next resolutions from the authority are recommendations that the authority made. So that's something that they had to pass in their meeting, because I don't have a record, because the public doesn't have record of that meeting. That's why I have an issue with these particular resolutions. I don't have an issue with the content of them. I have an issue with the process and making sure that we're maintaining a standard for our residents that they can trust.
Yes, Councilman Barr.
I understand Councilwoman's concern, but I don't want to hold them up from getting this project done. And I would feel that her comments had put them on notice that they need to put the minutes in here so she can make sure she see them. But I don't want to hold up the process. So I understand how the sister feel, but councilwoman feel, but I'm going to vote to approve this and let the Brownfield Authority know that they've been put on notice about putting those minutes where they need to be at. And, or either she can look in the clerk's office and find out where they at too. So, one of the two. So, I'd like to make a motion that we approve this.
No, you don't need to make a motion. We got a motion on the floor. We can do a discussion, right?
You're currently under discussion for the motion to postpone.
To the motion to postpone, right?
Okay.
Yes, Councilwoman Sylvia.
Looking at this.
Please talk loud.
I am. I'm not loud. Oh, okay, I can get louder now. Looking at this 2 weeks from today, or at the next council meeting, would it make a difference? That's why I want, would it make a difference?
We are looking to start to clean up stuff here within the next week or two.
Okay.
Obviously, standing here and saying if it delays it 2 weeks, is it going to completely destroy everything? No.
No, I don't.
Will it cause a little bit of inconvenience for us? Possibly.
Would it make a big difference?
It'll make a difference. I'm not going to say it's not catastrophic, but.
But
yes.
it'll make a difference.
Yes,
That's what I want to know. Okay.
we will have to postpone some things that we were planning.
And you don't want to postpone things?
Preferably not. But
Okay, all right, that's what I wanted to know.
just trying to give you an honest opinion.
Okay, thank you so much.
I'd like to call for the question, madam.
Can the clerk please read the motion on the floor that we are currently considering?
I was
Well,
going to say
the
this.
motion
Okay,
to
So
postpone.
much. Councilwoman
You got it.
Is there a second on
Can
the
you
call?
please read? the
Second
motion?
on the call.
The motion is to call the question.
The
That's the
motion is
current
called
motion.
question. Did I get a second? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay.
So the motion that you're going to conduct your vote on right now is to postpone the resolution.
The motion that we're getting ready to decide now is to postpone or is to postpone.
It's to postpone the resolution.
Okay,
Yes.
we're calling for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
Roll call vote.
Councilmember Sylvia.
No.
Councilmember Seals.
Nay.
Councilmember Balls.
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
Nay.
Councilmember Ostash.
Nay.
Councilmember Braddock.
Nay.
Councilmember Wiggins.
Nay.
Councilmember Hammond.
Aye.
Councilmember Mayor Moore.
I'm a council person. No.
All right, you have 8 nay and 1 yes. That motion is denied. So now you're going to conduct the vote on the main motion.
Now, the main motion.
Yep.
The main motion is to adopt this resolution. Calling for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
Roll call vote.
Councilmember Sylvia.
Yes.
Councilmember Seals.
Aye.
Councilmember Balls.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
Yay.
Councilmember Ostash.
Yes.
Councilmember Braddock.
Yes.
Councilmember Wiggins.
Aye.
Councilmember Hammond.
Nay.
And Mayor Moore.
Yes.
You have 8 yes and 1 no. That motion is approved. The third resolution is amending the Brownfield plan to include B&P Littleford Warehouse Project located at 622 Ortman.
I need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Yes.
I have the same concerns with this resolution, and I believe this is the one that came on the July 8th meeting. And, yeah, that's the one where there was no public notice posted online, and the minutes of that meeting are not available online either. So I'm going to motion to postpone. Yeah, I'm going to motion to postpone.
I need a second.
Second.
Discussion. Call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
Roll call vote.
Councilmember Sylvia.
Yes.
Councilmember Seals.
No.
Councilmember Balls.
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
No.
Councilmember Ostash.
No.
Councilmember Braddock.
Nay.
Councilmember Wiggins.
No.
Councilmember Hammond.
Yay.
Mayor Moore.
No.
You have 2 yes and 7 no. That motion is denied. That's to postpone, so now it's just on the motion. That's just the postpone motion, so now it's the motion to
Right,
approve.
that was the postpone motion. Now we're at the main motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed?
Nay.
Roll call vote.
Councilmember Sylvia.
Aye.
Councilmember Seals.
Aye.
Councilmember Balls.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
Aye.
Councilmember Ostash.
Yes.
Councilmember Braddock.
Yes.
Councilmember Wiggins.
Yes.
Councilmember Hammond.
Nay.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
You have 8 yes and 1 no. That motion is approved. The 4th resolution is terminating Brownfield Plan 20, Second National Building redevelopment project for the property located at 101 and 113 North Washington Avenue, 111 East Genesee Avenue, and 101 North Water Street.
I need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? Yes.
I'm gonna motion to postpone.
I need a second.
Yes. I mean, second.
It's been moved and second. Any discussion? Yes.
Why are we postponing this one?
For the same reasons as the other 2.
All they're doing is terminating a contract.
I know, but it still was a recommendation made by the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority, and,
I've been on this council 7 years, we've never had problems.
well, then you didn't have a standard.
Minutes are always available in the clerk's office, let that be known. It's public if you ever want to see them and they're not online, because sometimes they don't get online right away. Sometimes they have to be approved. That's before we had a website, everybody knew where the minutes were.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, any more discussion?
I just have a comment. If we're gonna hold the staff to be accountable and be transparent, I think as council members, we need to as well. Just FYI, that's all.
Agreed.
Any other comments? The motion is what?
The motion is to postpone the
Postpone.
resolution.
Okay, that's what I thought. I'm calling for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Nay. Roll call vote.
This is just on the postpone, remember. Councilmember Sylvia.
Excuse me.
Just let me postpone.
Say that again.
It's to postpone the resolution that I read. I'm sorry, is that your vote? No?
Yes.
Councilmember Seals.
Councilmember Seals.
It's your vote.
No, I mean, I don't want.
So no.
Yes, no, I don't want.
Yes, no?
No.
Exactly.
Getting late?
She tired.
She said no.
Your vote is no?
Yeah, I
Okay.
do not want.
Councilmember Balls.
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
Nay.
I said yes.
Councilmember Ostash.
No.
I'm sorry?
No.
No. Councilmember Braddock.
No.
Councilmember Wiggins.
No.
Councilmember Hammond.
Yay.
Mayor Moore.
No.
You have 1 yes and 8 no. That motion is denied, so now you're back to the main motion.
Now we're back to the original motion.
By the way.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed?
Nay.
Roll call vote.
Councilmember Sylvia.
Aye.
Councilmember Seals.
Yes.
Councilmember Balls.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
Yay.
Councilmember Ostash.
Yes.
Councilmember Braddock.
Yes.
Councilmember Wiggins.
Yes.
Councilmember Hammond.
Nay.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
You have 8 yes and 1 no. That motion is approved. The 5th resolution is declaring a vacancy on city council.
I need a motion to adopt.
Oh.
I need a support.
Or.
Discussion. I didn't know what you was doing.
Nope, I got it. Yeah,
Thought you
no.
was doing church stuff.
Discussion. Raise your hand. There was a public input on this tonight, and my comment is to this is that councils have had people resign, and they've done a resolution as well. So it's just formalizing, it's just stating what our charter states, and that's it. So I'm just commenting on that earlier comment.
What did you
So what, the resolution is, all it's doing is just saying, this is what our charter says. There's no action by us in any form.
It's no action.
Councilwoman.
It actually appears as though it's some action, but,
There's nothing we can do.
okay, that's what I want to do, because I wanted to postpone it, because we don't know what's getting ready to happen Wednesday, but if there's no action, then there's no action, so I'm good.
This basically just says that in the event of the sentencing, we'll be ready to post it.
I'm good
That's
then.
all it's saying.
Oh, okay, I'm good.
Okay, it's not saying get off, you're done.
Okay.
It's saying
No,
that
I
we
ain't-
take
I
the
ain't
first
get it.
step.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
This doesn't.
Anybody else?
Thank you.
It doesn't give us any power to do anything.
Right.
Our charter
Right,
does
we don't
not
have no
give us
power.
any power
I
to
think
do
the
any of,
citizens, because anyway, I wasn't through, because I think the citizens of this city that voted me in, the second highest of the votes, I think they should be able to have a voice to do whatever they need to do. So, other than that, thank you so very much. Have a great day. Thank you.
Yes, Councilwoman.
Yeah,
please.
I guess that would be my comment, but I just wanted to voice it. And it's kind of, I was wondering, I was like, why would it have to wait until the June 27th when the conviction was earlier? It seems like if this was something that was actionable, it would have been effect at the date of conviction. So, I understand that, we're just supporting what our charter says, and we are not making a decision because we cannot. So, thank you.
Basically, for those that really want to know, until, it says it in our charter, she's actually, since we have no power to remove anyone. The citizens put them in. Councilwoman Sylvia is right. But that would mean if the next election, there would have to be an emergency, an early call for a meeting. And it would be on the expense of us. And so, this is not condemning her from us. It is just following following procedures. It's stated in our book. It's stated in our handbook. I gave everybody a copy of it. So we're not condemning anybody. We're just following protocol.
Mayor, I would agree that you're not condemning anyone, but you are taking action under the charter, declaring the vacancy upon sentencing, because sentencing is when a conviction occurs. It's not when a jury verdict comes down.
Right.
It's when sentencing occurs.
Thank you for clearing that up for me. Thank you. Yes.
I got a question for the attorney. So, in this particular case with our charter, are we gonna do this when somebody moves out of the city, dies, resigns?
The difference in those is that when someone resigns or moves out of the city, those are instances of self-removal. They're taking it upon themselves to resign from council. This is effectively a removal for cause. And so by doing it this way, the individual is being afforded an opportunity to be heard, which is during this discussion, before any action is taken.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
So because she decides to stay, that we get a chance to do this to almost like protect ourselves, is that what you're saying?
To follow the charter.
To follow
correct.
the charter.
Because there has not been a resignation.
Okay, I'm just trying to clarify. So it shows that, we attempted to do something. We attempted.
That you're upholding your charter provision.
That we're upholding our charter. Okay.
Any other discussion? Call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Our final resolution is authorizing the sponsors of specified community events to use amplifying equipment.
I need a motion to adopt.
Second.
Who had the motion, and the second was, thank you.
Any discussion?
Yes.
Yes.
Where are they using the amplified,
Staff?
Yeah, you want me to come up with my back?
You good, you good. I can
No, we need you to walk to the front.
But the block party's on Morris Street between Sheridan and Oakwood. And then the other one's the Last Splash at Celebration Park. And then the other one's on North Fork between Sears and the dead end on North Fork.
Okay, all right, they can do that.
Let me see.
Any other questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Madam Clerk.
Mayor, we're going to move on to miscellaneous business, but I've been asked to mention to remind everyone that the Splash Park is closing also on Monday, so get in and get splashed before then.
Is it closed Monday or closing Monday?
Last day is Monday.
Get y'all swimming suits.
So, we recommend that you get one last swim in or standing in the water, done on Monday, which is the holiday, and we can do a cool down. Hopefully, we won't have 100-degree weather on Monday.
It's coming.
So you're under miscellaneous business.
Do we have any motion? Do we have any?
Motion to
No,
adjourn.
no, do we have?
Motion to adjourn is always in order.
It's always in order.
Second.
Second, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Everybody have a good next 2 weeks.